Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is season 2, episode 12. It's OU Texas week. It's actually OU Texas tomorrow. This is our college football week 6 or college football week 7 NFL week 6 preview video. Real quick before we get into it, I know this is the PigSkin podcast. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share. We're gonna start the PigSkin podcast out with some playoff baseball. All right. We're watching the battle of the I'm not going to say that. We're watching Yu Darvish and go up against Shohei Ohtani right now. We got the Padres, Dodgers. This is game 5, isn't it? Yeah, game 5, winner go home. Dodgers up 1-0 on the Padres. Playoff baseball has been fucking electric so far this year, man.
Like, we need to put it up at the bottom of our screen, the Shohei Ohtani bats
we do
in 1 second. Have you been seeing that going around?
Dude, it's so funny. It's hilarious.
We need to put that to the bottom of the of that episode.
I forget that Yu Darvish is still playing baseball, dude. It feels like he's 90.
He's pitching right now.
Yeah,
dude. He just took out Ohtani.
Did he just strike out Ohtani?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I love Yu Darvish.
It is top of the 7th now.
Wow.
So yeah, the Dodgers lead 1-0. I feel as though this has probably been the best series so far, just because it's just been like complete domination, either one week by the Dodgers or complete domination by the Padres. Like, it's just like an absolute just slugfest. Is this the only one that's gone 2-2 so far?
Yeah, this is the only one that's going to go to game 5.
Wow.
I think. No. Tigers, Guardians are playing game 5 tomorrow.
Yeah, they should still be the Indians, in my opinion.
Hey, man.
Indians are dope. Sorry, Native Americans. How does that sound?
There you go. I'll tell my
Native Americans.
I'll tell my fiance even just say Native Americans. Okay, she'll be okay with it.
Is it better for playoff baseball that Shohei Ohtani advances or Tatis? Obviously Ohtani, right? But Tatis he's been kind of going off in this playoff series.
He's been fantastic. I mean, this whole series between the Dodgers and the Padres, like you were talking about, has been electric. It's been awesome. Super cool for me just because I live in Oklahoma City to see Andy Pages, because I go to Oklahoma City Oklahoma City baseball club games every now and then. And it was super cool to see him play AAA ball up here. But outside of that, I don't like the big bag, ugly Dodgers, So I just root for Andy Pages, and I think Trey Sweeney's still on the team, right? Or is he in New York?
Is it because the Dodgers were the very first to ever bring in, a black player, Jackie Robinson, and your ties still are within that? You've seen the movie 42. You're one of those. Is that why? I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
There's German blood in my soul, but no, that's not what I mean. Yes. Okay, I definitely would have rooted for Jesse Owens. All right, I'll put it that way.
That's a joke. I'm just joking. Dalton, some of his friends are black, so
a very minority, a very small minority. Yeah.
Who would the Dodgers or the Padres would go on to play the Mets?
Yep,
that's going to be a lot of fun because
which the Mets have been amazing.
Team of Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. They Jorge Lopez was, and so the Mets started out as a catastrophe once again in like May, and I mean it just looked like they were going to be the worst team in baseball. I feel for Mets fans. Low key, I'm kind of rooting for the Mets just because like Mets fans have had it tough with that area of sports fans with the Jets, the Mets, the Islanders in hockey. And the Knicks for a while. I mean, I know the Knicks have had like runs, but like it just hasn't looked great for New York fans.
Philly's coming off their little high as well.
We're going to talk about that. I'm saving that for later in the episode. But the Mets have had real Team of Destiny 5. Jorge Lopez threw his glove and left after 1 inning and basically said, I'm on the worst fucking team in baseball. And ever since then, I mean, June, they had their little like basically like New York. They were the Pride. They were the Pride Mets. I mean,
Yeah.
like in June. Yeah. So what was that? What would you call that? Like the gay Mets, I guess.
I
Like
guess
they
so.
were. Yeah. I mean, because they had like a run where they were. I mean, since June, it's just been like they've been great. Pete Alonso's been awesome. They get all the big hits. They get all the clutch moments, which is very unorthodox for the
That
Mets. It's
Francisco
definitely out of usual.
Lindor grand slam the other night was insane.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. I guess it doesn't matter now because they advanced, but in the back, like I was kind of thinking to myself, like, if should he have hit the grand slam or should he have just like tried to hit it, kept it infield, and like had two of the runners go on, but then they keep going. Maybe they get another guy on. Yeah, like continue it. Like I was thinking that.
It's
but
the
I
old
guess it
thought
didn't
that
matter.
it's the old thought that the grand
Phillies.
slam is the ultimate rally killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think you take an opportunity to put 4 runs on the board anytime you can.
Well, and it's just like an awesome moment too to happen in New York too. So
yeah, it was insane.
But no, the Mets have been insane. And Grimace, so they had the Grimace thing ever since Francisco. So Jorge Lopez, one of the worst fucking team in baseball, quits the team, gets traded. Grimace happens, so they bring Grimace up to the pitch. The Sidney Sweeney, they've been hot ever since then. I mean, they look like a team that just cannot be beaten. And it's crazy to see because in my lifetime, when was the last time the Mets have had made like a serious run? 2008, 2009?
Maybe. I mean, I don't even know the last time I even not gave a shit, but felt the Mets were worth a shit. Like it's been a while. But yeah, man, and there's something to baseball. You don't have to be the best team, the most stacked or talented roster. If you're the hot team at the right time, you're not losing.
Yeah.
Like 2016 Cubs is a perfect example. They were not the best team in baseball, but they got hot at the right time.
What, July?
Yeah, exactly. But they got hot at the right time and they carried it all the way through the postseason, and it gave them their title. And so that's one thing with baseball. I think more so with any other sport.
Well, just all sports. I think all sports. I mean, you can kind of make a case like you get hot at the right time. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield with that 2016 for Oklahoma. Like they started off terrible, and then they went on to have an incredible run. And then with the Bucks last year, they 4-7, they looked great.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the better teams still win, right?
Yeah.
More often than not in football. In baseball, because it's such a streaky sport, I feel like baseball more so than anything else, it's better to be hot than good. You know what I mean?
Baseball's also the one sport where like you pay to win a championship. Like look what the Rangers did to win the World Series. I mean, they spent like $230 million on players.
The Rams did too about 5 years ago.
It usually doesn't work in football the way that it does in baseball though. Like baseball's the ultimate, like you pay. You definitely want to have like your core guys that you develop through the minor leagues and guys that you draft, but like get those big time hitters,
Dude, the Padres are swinging at everything.
Yeah, they are. No, this is definitely a game where you can tell like it's kind of in their head. Like this feels like the Dodgers are the better team. They got Ohtani. They brought in all those players. Yeah. But yeah, no, like the Mets, they just have that vibe where like they can't be stopped. Like they're gonna get all the clutch moments. They're definitely like when they're down, they're gonna make the big hit. And the Phillies, I guess it's over for their run. I mean, you got Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and then
Trey Turner still there?
Yeah, Trey Turner, the guy with the beard, long hair.
Hoskins?
Why can't I fucking think of his name?
Reese Hoskins?
Is it? No, Marsh. No.
Yeah.
Brandon Marsh. You got Brandon Marsh. Like you got all these big time hitters that have been very good in the regular season, and were good when they were playing in the World Series, and I mean, come up short again. Like this same thing kind of happened with the Phillies in 2008. They won the World Series, and then that team went on to, I think they lost in the World Series in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong. Then they lost in the NLCS in 2010, and then 2011 they came back, and it was basically like, this is their best team. They're going to win another World Series. The guys are all veteran at this point. Like they were favored to win the World Series, and then they lost in the NLDS. So.
Yeah,
it's basically the exact same run. Like the window is officially closed for the Phillies.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
You gotta feel like shit if you're the Phillies. Like if you're the fans, not just the players, but like this was the team that was favored to win the World Series. Like they were the best team not the best team in the regular season, but like a top 3 team in the regular season. And
a lot of people definitely saw them as the best team in baseball going in, and. Like I said, man, it's better be hot than good. So, but no, playoff baseball.
Bryce Harper has one game. Bryce Harper has one game like the past 2 years where like he has a clutch moment, and then, I mean, the clutch gene just goes away. So he's still an incredible player, but maybe it's time to start over if you're the Phillies.
Yeah, no, it's about that time. But yeah, man, playoff baseball has been fantastic this year.
Kind of ironic that the Capitals also win, or Washington wins the World Series after they, basically ship off Schwarber and Bryce Harper. But yeah, you're right. Playoff baseball, man. It's awesome. Tigers and the Guardians, 2-2. They're gonna play. I believe they play tomorrow, so they play at 12. Yeah, so they should be getting done around the time Oklahoma's and Texas are like almost done with the first quarter.
Yeah,
depending on how it goes.
Roughly about halftime.
I forget that baseball like has sped up a lot.
So yeah, it has. It has. 4 years ago, that game would end at about the same time Red River does. But
I thought we were going to record on Wednesday, so we were supposed to have an episode on Wednesday. Things end up happening. We're busy guys. But I was going to ask you a question, which is no longer valid. But like the Yankees. We kind of felt with the acquisitions that they made to get Juan Soto in the offseason, and then having Aaron Judge, who's one of the best baseball players, or one of the best hitters in baseball right now, what they could do in the regular season and what happens when they get to the postseason. I was going to ask you if maybe we should take away, or if Yankees fans should probably start to have the conversation between themselves that they should take away Aaron Judge's pinstripes, or if he ever even earned them.
Yeah,
because they will die for him. The Yankees. It kind of reminds me of like you can look at players that have been very, very good and dominant for the Yankees. Throughout Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, all earned their pinstripes. All had made like massive like postseason success to help them win titles and advance. Aaron Judge has been great in any of the, but he came up big in this series, in my opinion. He had a few like big time like hits. He had that double in last night's game. I mean, that was clutch because he was pretty sure it was 0-2, and I think this is when they were only up 2-1, and the Royals, kind of playing as a must-win.
I do think you'd like to see him do it a little bit more consistently in a little bit bigger moments, though.
And look who they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing the winner of the Guardians and the Tigers.
That's
a team that should win. The Astros are not in the postseason. Right, so this is a clear path for the Yankees. Like the Yankees fans thought, okay, Astros aren't in this. This should be like an easy path to the World Series. When it was 1-1 with them and the Royals, I thought, oh man, like this could get ugly. Like, and the Yankees, obviously they won. They should have won, but they should easily win the winner between the Guardians and the Tigers. What are we gonna say about Aaron Judge and maybe the decision to keep Juan Soto out there as a pace runner because he's kind of slow?
Yeah.
Like some of the like management decisions. Like, what are we gonna say about like Aaron Judge if they do lose a series and he doesn't, either like a home run or like a base run or an RBI.
It's going to be one of those things where you talk about, just like you were saying, what big moment has he had as a Yankee? And that's why, he needs to do it consistently over the span of a few years. You know what I mean? Like, that was the biggest thing, is no matter when, you knew A-Rod or Jeter would come up clutch for the Yankees. Yeah. And that's just the thing that he does, but when it's October, he fades away. When it's playoff baseball, he fades away. So, am I crazy I'm really pulling for the Tigers, and I'm not too,
because of I get it, Detroit, like they had been, they didn't look like they were going to be a very good team to start.
Yeah, they got hot late.
Yeah, and they've looked really good since. And Lauren Burke is dating one of their players too, so we all love Lauren Burke.
I really do want the Tigers to. I'd love to see the Tigers in the World Series. That'd be fun. That'd be fun as hell.
Yeah, and then it's also kind of Cleveland fans, like they just continue to go back into the rut when Detroit finally figures out all their sports teams.
Exactly. But yeah, no, man, I'm so excited for the NLCS, the ALCS right around the corner.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I think next year when Cade Horton's pitching,
I hope Cade Horton makes his jump to the league. So
we'll have two incredible pitchers, and so that's what you can ask for. Need Cody Bellinger to have a breakout moment. We're gonna need him to take the next step. I thought it was gonna be this season, and he's looked good. But
we're gonna need people to take his reading material away and just make him go back to being dumb Bellinger that was just hitting nukes in fucking LA. Just don't let him just plug his nose, let him keep breathing through his mouth, let him just step up to the plate and hit balls over the fence.
We need the little league Cody Bellinger back.
Exactly.
Nukes and dingers. Real quick before we get into the ball segment, would be crazy to think that I think the Mets could win the series against the Padres, but I don't think they can win the series against the Dodgers.
That's not crazy. The Dodgers are so stacked from top to bottom. Pitching rotation, they're 1 through 9. It's absolutely ridiculous. One thing I actually want to bring up, I do think if the Dodgers to get through the Padres, which it looks like they will, it almost feels over for baseball. But man, you know what I miss? I've been seeing a lot of these highlights come around because it always comes around this time of year because the Cubs were doing it in the playoffs back in 15 and 16. I kind of hate the DH rule for both leagues. I miss when Jake Arrieta would just step up and go 1 for 100, but that one be a 3-run shot, dude. I tweeted it out the other day. Someone was talking about DH in baseball, and I was like, man, I miss when a pitcher got the chance to actually come up there and shock the world because no one expected a home run. No one expected a hit every time the pitcher stepped up.
Yeah.
And that shit was fun.
I'm right there with you. I agree.
But, I mean, it does make for more – it makes for a more even playing field, I guess. But anyways, moving on. It
was our playoff baseball talk.
Yes.
We're all sports. We love sports.
We are.
Okay.
This is probably the biggest weekend. Not probably. This is the biggest weekend of college football season so far. Last week was insane. You're right. We missed the episode on Wednesday. Vanderbilt knocks off Alabama. Last week one was awesome. Absolutely insane. It felt like 2007. It was just.
It's like a familiar feeling, like the final game with Arkansas beating Tennessee, which I guess we could talk about the games kind of. Oh, home run. Hernandez. Wow, that was an absolute rocket.
Should I have seen it yet?
Good.
Oh, wow,
it was a solo home run. I feel like this is where, the Dodgers, that they basically claimed the win, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
That's over.
I need to shut up. I know Tatis is 0-3, but he could hit.
Teoscar Hernandez has been good for them. This is just his playoff run. I mean, he's a stud.
Yeah. And he did it on Darvish. Hernandez he's been crazy. Okay, anyways. So yeah. Georgia Auburn. I also watched that game a little bit. It was really close in the first half, and then Georgia just kind of came away. Vanderbilt beats fucking Alabama. First time they were 0-60 when playing. They had never beaten a top 5 team, and they hadn't beaten Alabama in 30 or since what was it? 1984 was the last time they beat Alabama.
Something like that. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. That was fucking awesome. Diego Pavia is the man. That guy, I've talked a lot about him. You guys know how I feel about Diego Pavia. He used to, stay up late at night, watch the Conference USA games. He owns the state of Alabama. When he was in New Mexico State last year, he smoked Auburn. And then the guy could not be stopped against the number 1 team in the country last weekend. He's close game. He's incredible. Did you see the video that was being surfaced of him when he was at? Somebody had taken a video of him when he was at the New Mexico State practice facility and he was pissing on the logo.
No.
Yeah, there was that video going around. He's awesome. I love Diego Pavia. The dude's just
a gamer, man. He's got Baker vibes.
Yeah, exactly, and there's just something about those quarterbacks that aren't very highly talented, but they've just got that football quarterback instinct in them. They always make the right play. They're not afraid of the moment, and they got a couple big games coming up. They got Tennessee. They got Kentucky. That's a really, really tough defense. So we'll see how that goes. Minnesota. That was awesome. I'm happy for PJ Fleck. I'm glad he put his nuts on the table and went for the touchdown.
Yes, me too.
I also think maybe if college football officiating, maybe those guys might be slightly retarded or maybe just are getting too old and can't see anymore because that was a touchdown. Yeah. The fact that I thought that it was going to be all right, they maybe Big Ten wants USC to be good, bring back the vibes,
Well, the Cal Miami targeting that was missed, and then the Miami Virginia Tech thing, man. They've gotten bailed out 2 weeks in a row. Not to pull you off the USC Minnesota game, but they've gotten bailed out back-to-back weeks. And it ruined my California Joe Biden video I posted on Snapchat.
So regarding the USC Minnesota game, I feel like it's kind of gotten to the point where USC they're starting to have to play teams that are tough, physical, they're going to play their style of football where they're going to take, they're just going to try to punch you in the mouth. And I don't think this variation of USC and most kind of Lincoln Riley teams at times, they can't necessarily handle that. They got a tough one against Penn State where we feel like Penn State's kind of, it really feels like they haven't had to play 100% bully ball. They've kind of just been on cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
And so, did you see James Franklin's comment about because of the travel situation and with some of the new teams coming to the Big Ten, because it's at USC next week, right?
Yeah,
or something like that. Because of the short runways, they're not able to fly. They have to take an hour and a half long bus ride trip, and he was basically, or they were saying they were talking about that with some of the teams that are going to be traveling from California to go play Rutgers and vice versa. And James Franklin's well, it also affects us too because we have to take an hour and a half long bus ride rather than fly. And it's oh wow, poor you,
Yeah. Well,
I hate James Franklin. He never shows up in big moments.
Yeah, no, fucking tell me about it. But do you see the stat that all the Pac-12 or all the Big Ten teams that have traveled cross country so far have lost?
Yeah. I don't think it's that. I think Penn State should.
Yeah, they should wear on them.
Lincoln Riley's he's gonna scheme some stuff. Like they're gonna score some points.
Did you see the post game interview where the reporter asked that player that was sitting next to Lincoln Riley if it was a touchdown, and Lincoln was like, "Why are you asking my players?" Like,
it was kind of a dumb question, but at the same time, like, let him answer, Lincoln.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
With sheltering your players. Like, I get it. It was a dumb question. There was no reason to ask that. Like, some reporters just pull things out of their ass. Yeah. So I get both sides of it, but at the same time, like, just let the player answer the question.
Exactly. Did you see, and we'll get into this week starting now. We're going to start it off, obviously, with OU Texas. I think the best lead in for it is, did you see, forget his name, but essentially the safety that lost Nick Anderson last year. Did you see whenever a dude from Texas asked him about them being a 14.5-point favorite? Did you see that video?
Was that the one? Didn't he say something like, "I don't care about what they did last year, but I care about how we played last year"? I remember that, or something like that. Who was that?
No, so that was another dude that was talking about. They asked him about the Danny Stutzman shirt.
Oh, okay.
This, but so that player from Texas, I forget his name, but essentially a reporter from Texas asked him. He said, "Hey, what do you think about you guys being 14-point favorites?" And he goes, "14-point favorites? What do you mean?" He was like you're being picked to win, like the spread's 14. And he's like, "What's the spread?" And he's like, so people pick you, like they pay for you to win. And he was like, "Who pays for this?" And they're like, "Gamblers." And he was like, "Gambling? No. I don't know anything about that." It's super funny. Apparently he's from like some super, super fucking small town in Texas. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so genuinely funny.
I feel like that guy's he's gonna start to figure out what gambling is, and he's gonna be like nonstop. That's kind of how it happened with me.
Yeah.
When I very first started gambling, I was like, "What the fuck is a spread?" So yeah, that guy, he's gonna be a gambling expert.
I think next week for their interview before Georgia, he should be like, "Hey, do you know what the over under is in this game? Like, do you know what the total is? How about the money line? Like, who are you picking?" Just start like slowly, like gambling for dummies. Yeah. I think that's how you should treat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. He's like, "Hey, like their game against Vandy." He's like, "Have you put a parlay together yet?" But yeah, so all of that really to lead into Red River shootout.
You're not going to talk about Arkansas, Tennessee? What the fuck?
Hey, that's OU laid out the game plan to beat Tennessee.
Saying, I was going to say, like, we had all these upsets, man. We didn't even get to talk about them.
We did. My bad. I'm so excited about OU Texas. I just can't wait. Sorry.
I know you are, but I have a question for you.
What's up?
Okay. We might have maybe overrated the 2023 quarterback class just a little bit. I don't want to say we overrated them. I think I'd rather say that, unfortunately, some stuff has happened to, except for Arch Manning. Arch Manning, like, his team is healthy, but like Jackson Arnold, the decimation of Oklahoma's offense just kind of set him back a little bit. And then Jeff Levy leaving, him having to kind of learn a new style of offense. It basically kind of put his brain in a blender, and he never got to show his true, what he is. Nico looked really good, and he had to play tougher competition and tougher defenses.
Yep.
Now, like, his freshman side's starting to show. And, Deontay Thornton gets hurt in that Arkansas game. Squirrel White gets hurt. Brew McCoy gets hurt. And so at the very end of the game, he did this is your brain on drugs, like it's scrambled and runs out of bounds instead of trying to throw the ball. This 2023 QB class had a chance to be like really fucking good, like almost like not generational, but like one of the best of all time.
Pretty special.
And yeah, very special. But they all are like terrible decision makers.
Yeah.
Maybe Arch not as much. I think Sark helps out his quarterbacks a lot, and just having really good talent, keeping his players healthy, and like having like a really strong, like they know what they are and what they can do on offense. But even the game against Mississippi State, there's some decision making by Arch. I was like, oh, I know he's a young quarterback, but do you think guys like Caleb Williams and Tua, Johnny Manziel, like guys that played when they were freshmen and were just sensational, Like Baker too, as a true freshman, was awesome, and then like he got it. Like, do you think that kind of ruined it for these new quarterbacks? That like, hey, maybe you do need to learn. Like you're young, you need to make these mistakes. Like you're not going to be great because defenses have finally caught up. Like, what is your take
I
on
think
that?
that's part of it, but I think we're also almost getting into a the NFL had this problem for a while where you draft a quarterback pretty highly overall, and everyone in the world wants to see them play, right? Paying them a ton of money. There's no reason for them to sit on the bench. If you're drafting number one overall, they should be expected to play, right? And so I think it's almost becoming one of those things for quarterbacks at the collegiate level. Now the NIL is such a big deal that either they're going to want to play early and often, or if they sit for too long, they're going to want to transfer. It's one of those things. And I think college football is almost like shooting itself in the foot in this manner because, players don't want to sit. Some players are okay with that. Some players are okay with learning the process and getting it. Most quarterbacks aren't going to be. Now, last year, that's a different thing. It's a true freshman. And look, that's a good competitive side to it.
Well,
but
what I'm asking you is like, okay, so they're out there playing. Like, let's say some of these young quarterbacks, Nico, Jackson, even Arch Manning, they're out there playing, and they make some either bad decision making or it's not very good decision making. Like, they're still learning. Like, defenses have gotten better. Like, and now people are kind of like, oh yeah, this player's incredibly overrated. Like, do you think guys like Caleb Williams, like he kind of came in and like he had that game, he came back in the Red River game. It was legendary. The guy ended up being a star. Now look at his progress in the NFL. Like he's getting better and better. Baker Mayfield, like he got it. Like it's kind of ruined it for some of these younger quarterbacks. And like Dylan Raiola, like he just gets it. I mean, he struggled against Illinois, a tough, good football team. So like you're going to struggle when you're a young quarterback going up against a good defense. But I feel like it's kind of ruined for quarterbacks because Jackson, that's tough for him. People are looking at Tennessee and being like, that offense was severely overrated. Like, they're not a very good offense. Even though his guys got hurt, like, he should have thrown the ball. Yes, he shouldn't have gone out of bounds. I was like, what the fuck was he doing? Yeah. But, like, his guys got hurt. And then it's like, okay, now you're having to play from behind. You don't have very much time on the clock. There's no timeouts. Like, I feel for some of these younger quarterbacks where like their social media has come to the point where it's like you're going to be heavily judged and like they have to grow up and progress so fast.
Well, I think it's more so. I don't think it's now. Obviously, you see like Baker and Kyler and Johnny Manziel and Caleb Williams, the guys you talk about. Yeah.
Well, Kyler struggled at Texas A&M as a
he did. But I think it's more so the expectation with NIL and stuff like that and the threat of the transfer portal has a bigger wear on it than anything else.
Yeah.
The immediate return on investment is what I think is the biggest problem right now. So that's where I see it. Arkansas. Look, Brent Venables and Zach Alley laid out the blueprint for how to beat Tennessee, and I think Tennessee's in trouble because Arkansas followed it to a T. They were just able to capitalize on mistakes that Tennessee made that OU wasn't able to in that game.
It almost looked like, because they dominated the first half. I mean, they had like 293 total yards. Tennessee had 74. It was like, how do they only have 3 points? It reminded me of like Michigan versus Alabama in the playoffs last year. Like Michigan was dominating Bama like just up front. And Tennessee has a couple of scoring drives and they still are like, it almost felt like fluky for Tennessee, even though Tennessee coming in was the much better team, like on paper and everything. It was like, this is going to be a fluky win for Tennessee. Like they're just too explosive on offense. And then Arkansas was able to rally back, which you mentioned it, and a lot of people on Twitter mentioned it when they let Arkansas score on that, because they let Arkansas score, correct?
Yeah, no, they definitely let them score.
Can I be honest with you?
What's up?
I had no idea that Tennessee was trying to was letting Arkansas score. I just thought, wow, what a play design by Sam Pittman and that staff. But what
I noticed it immediately.
Bobby Petrino, he knows how to dial it up. Like, that was a great play call. And everybody was like, man, they should have taken the knee. You know, Tennessee was obviously letting them score. And they showed the replay, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's what happened. I had no idea.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because I had my eyes on the UFC fights at the same time I was watching that.
Yeah. Well, the games were awesome. Washington beating Michigan was insane. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't believe Washington was favored, and now it makes sense. All their quarterbacks stink. I don't know how they can't get a fucking quarterback in the portal, but they're going to have to figure it out now. Miami, you talked about it. Miami was able to, they had a massive comeback against Cal. Game day was awesome. Cal, credit to those fans on game day.
They showed up.
Awesome. Those signs were hilarious. Like,
that's what happens when you give nerds markers, man.
Yeah. I was surprised. We'd been making fun of Cal and the liberals there. And, hey, Josiah Wagner plays for Cal, right?
Yes.
Or is he in Washington?
Cal.
He's at Cal? Awesome. Well, yeah, they had a massive lead. You brought up the targeting. So basically the drive, all Cal needs to do is get a first down. Hit happens. They were reviewing for targeting. I'll be honest with you. I'm glad they didn't call targeting. I don't know. The targeting rule, it's so hard to it feels like kind of like a broken rule because they call that all the time. Like in any game, like first quarter, second quarter, they're calling that a targeting. Like they're going to eject the player for the game. He's going to be out for, the first quarter, the first half of the next game. And in that moment, I'm kind of glad they didn't because I wanted to see if they could get the first down, honestly. You had the big lead. Like, you let Miami come back.
Yeah.
You let them scheme things up with Cam Ward and all these, great players that they have. I know, you're not, a great team, but you were still 3-1. Or 3-1 or 4-1, I don't remember. But they only lost one game. You should have just get the first down, They played it so poorly. And I get it. Miami's pass rush, they showed up in the second half. They did what they needed to do in the fourth quarter. But I'm kind of glad they didn't call targeting there. I wanted to see them finish it out. I didn't want to see the game end on targeting.
Yeah, and that would have sucked for the game to end on a targeting call, but that was so clearly within the room.
Yeah.
I get it. Launched, he led with his head, he hit him with the crown of the helmet. The letter of the law.
Keep it consistent.
Keep it consistent. That's all I look for is consistency. But no, I mean, I think
it was this. In that specific scenario, maybe don't call targeting in the fourth quarter unless players are starting to get away with it. Yeah. Maybe the kid
you're
should have been
right though.
Punished, hey, this isn't targeting, but you're a fucking idiot for doing what you did. So now you got to sit out for 2 plays.
Or the rest of the drive or some shit. But yeah, no, I mean, you're correct though. Cal let them back in the game. Cal was up by so much. It wasn't even close. And then they let him back in the game. And then the other thing is, I know Miami's hot at this point, but Cal still has an opportunity to go out there and stop them and just didn't.
That pass to Xavier Restrepo down in their territory is at the 10 or 5 yard line, just a 76-yard pass all the way to the red zone.
Yeah.
Did you see who was their former wide receiver, all-time great player for the Cowboys?
Cocaine Cowboy.
Yeah, Cocaine Cowboy. Did you see him on the ground doing the?
Yeah,
that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. Cam Ward probably saved his Heisman hopeful with that.
Yeah.
He hasn't looked. He looked fantastic in the second half of that game, but the first half, the past 2 games, it was all right, well, Cam Ward has reverted back to, later half of the season. Cam Ward, he did this at Washington State, but hey, he clutched up when he needed to.
Yeah, no, certainly he really did. But last week was just so awesome, dude. It really had the 07 vibes. It was.
I'll say this about Miami. One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
They need to watch out for Clemson.
Yeah. Crazy to me that Clemson's bad. I wrote them off so quickly.
They're averaging 40 points a game now since that loss to Georgia, which Georgia's a great team, and they haven't played. I mean, they played NC State, and some of these other teams, but don't let Clemson get hot. Dabo Sweeney, like he wants you to write him off.
Yeah, no, exactly. He wants that Geno Smith. They wrote me off, but I ain't right back to that's exactly what he wants. But dude, like I said, it was the best vibes that I've had, and makes me so
and that
happy.
wasn't even supposed to be good either.
I know. Makes me so happy that OU was on a bye week last week, because if it was that bad for everybody else, it would have been so much worse for us. I can almost tell you.
Last thing before we get into this week's slate. Huge Shane Beamer guy. I love Shane Beamer. Awesome coach, awesome guy. I think it's over.
Yeah, no, it's over.
That fake punt, just some of the game decisioning was just terrible. I mean, it was impressive by Ole Miss to bounce back after that loss to Kentucky, but that was pathetic.
Look, I appreciate Beamer ball as much as the next guy, but you got to know when to do it, when not to. Like, it's just one of those things. I feel like Sam Pittman did more to save his job than Shane Beamer's done all season. So,
yeah, I know, and it sucks because I like Shane Beamer, but yeah, you got to call it how it is.
Can we just bring up one more team, because I was so correct on this, and the people that didn't listen to me, I just want them to lick dog shit like that Florida State fan that still hadn't done it. Oklahoma State is so fucking bad at football. And
dude, they fucking stink.
Is it at the point to where you get worried about Gundy's job? I know he's royalty in Stillwater, but it can't be this bad, right?
Well, and this happens with Gundy's teams all the time.
Every
year, when they have high expectations, they just stink. I mean, they never perform to what we think they're going to perform to. Colin Oliver, when he got hurt, that wasn't great for the defense, but their defense is still playing great. Ollie Gordon is just, I mean, he's done.
Yeah.
Like, he just hasn't looked good. Their offensive line stinks. They booed Alan Bowman.
I heard reports that Alan Bowman's not even with the team anymore.
I didn't see that, but that is something to keep my eye on for sure. They have a much needed bye week this week.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Matthew at work, and I was like, "Go play this weekend?" He was like, "No, but we already lost." And I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "We're on the bye week, man." He goes, "Alan Bowman's not with the team anymore," and I was like, "All right, man, that's tough."
Yeah, Alan Bowman, I don't know, like. He's just never really been good at quarterback.
Yeah.
And then guess who they have week 8? On
BYU.
Friday, October 8th. Yeah.
BYU.
That could get very fucking ugly. That could get really fucking bad for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma State,
under 500.
when they have next year, they're going to have very low expectations, and then they're going to be a 10-win team, and they're going to be competing for a Big 12 title.
Yeah.
So the Big 12 has been very fun.
Iowa State undefeated, ranked 11, makes me so happy.
You know what? The team that is the most disappointed in the Big 12 is Kansas, though.
Yes. Andy Kalnick meant so much to that team.
Will be a head coach, because look what he's done for Penn State's offense. Look what he did for Kansas' offense.
Yeah.
Maybe he was the factor behind it, because they have not looked good. And Jalen Daniels has been he's not the problem, but he's been, I mean, he hasn't been the fix either.
Yeah. So, any other games you want to touch on from last week?
Even though he had a good game against Arizona State. But, no, not really. Florida, UCF, disappeared, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, 24-13, it never even felt that close.
Hopefully another 14-point favorite disappears this weekend.
Oh, also watch out for Texas Tech, too. Texas Tech is undefeated in conference play.
Did you see the uniforms this weekend?
They're going to have the Gladiator.
Yeah.
They have the Gladiator, the Patrick Mahomes symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is a massive 14-point underdog coming up.
There is. I think it's time we talk about it. Are you ready?
Yes. Red River Shootout. Oklahoma, Texas.
Red River Shootout. OU, Texas. The Red River rivalry. No, it's the shootout. It's the shootout. It'll always be the shootout. Shootout's the best name for it. Oklahoma and Texas make it. What?
I was just going to say, you can go ahead. I was going to say Texas is favored. The line went up. It's 15.5 according to DraftKings. 48.5. Yeah. So Oklahoma plus 500 as a money line underdog. Which, again, spreads never matter. Maybe this year that might be a little bit different because, which crazy things always happen. Like I agree that you throw out the spreads. I mean, even with Oklahoma, basically their injury report looks like their starting depth chart. Like it basically is. Garen Hatchett. So again, their starting wide receivers for the season were Andrew Anthony, Jalil Farouk, Nick Anderson, Jake Gibson, Deion Burks at wide receiver. And they are all out. They've all been injured. Andrew Anthony, I guess that knee, like he may have re-aggravated at this point.
He had another knee scope last week.
Yeah, I mean that sucks. I feel bad for him because he can medical and come back. He's basically going to have to because like he has NFL talent, speed, route running, catching. Like he's an NFL receiver, but he just doesn't put enough out there, So like he's going to have to come back and stay healthy. Nick Anderson, he has the hamstring. It's a soft tissue injury, like his quad or his hamstring.
Yep. Deion Burks also has soft tissue.
Yeah, I've had that injury in high school when I played soccer. It sucks. It hurts. Even when you feel like you're playing, like you can get better. Like doctors will tell you, like, hey, no, you need to sit out. Like this thing can get reactive. It's the same thing that Sawchuk had. And Sawchuk, I mean, it's a brutal injury. Like it's not one that's just easy to come back from. So it sucks for him. They're playing it safe, and I understand because you don't want a catastrophic injury that could inhibit his play. He'll come back next year. I think you should just sit him for the rest of the season. I know you're wasting Danny Stutzman and Billy Bowman, which sucks because those two are probably first, second round picks. And Mason Thomas, if he continues on his trajectory, he'll probably get a first round pick too. I mean, the guy's either first or second or third round pick. Like he'll be a top 3 round draft pick. What he brings to the table is just unmatched to most. I mean, look at his stats compared to James Pierce.
Yeah,
it's insane. Like he's just got incredible just abilities. Deion Burks also sustained injury. Don't want to react to that. He's probably the most explosive player on the team.
Yeah.
Jaden Gibson, that sucks. Tears his ACL. Jalil Farouk won't be back until the end of the season. So yeah, I mean it's
Farouk's. Now they did say Farouk's out the boot, but he's got to get back into football shape. He's got to be able to trust that foot. He's probably another, like you said, end of the season. He's probably another 3 weeks out. At this point, to let him redshirt.
Is this decision?
Yeah. It'd be smarter for him too at this point. Yeah.
He's put enough out there. Like he'll be a draft pick. But just what do you say? They're going up Schitt's Creek with no paddles?
Yeah, up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. So
they have a motor. They may have a motor.
They might.
And it could be true freshman Michael Hawkins.
First true freshman to start at quarterback for OU Texas.
Yes, and Texas is the number 1 team. They've looked really good.
First time since 1984. They're the number 1 team in the country going into this game. And that one was controversial. Should have been a win for OU, but ended in a 15-15 tie as OU got the pick. And yeah, so anyways. Man.
I'm going to be at the State Fair tomorrow, so I'm going to go. Can't wait. I'm going to wake up early, watch some of the games, go to the State Fair, enjoy, drink some booze. I'll try to eat a funnel cake. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I'm excited. I haven't been since I actually went to the game in 2016, the Baker D.D. Westbrook game. That was fucking awesome. The State Fair was great. That was the last time I went to the State Fair. So you should go. You should just buy a ticket and come down.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I went. I think it's like $20. I think it's like $25. Just pay for gas. Come down.
I wish, my
You
friend.
said that.
I had to take my
You always have
fiance
a
to get
place
her
to
nails
stay
done.
at
I appreciate
Okay.
it, brother. I appreciate it.
Did you? That happen? Does she know? Does she watch this?
Yeah, she knows. It happened.
Congrats, dude. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it. But yeah, so I wish I could go. I went in 2019. I went Jalen Hurts, CeeDee Lamb. I went then. That's the only OU Texas I've been to. The only time I've been to the state fair. It's fucking awesome. Went with Jason White, by the way. So that was pretty sick. I got to go with Jason White. So we got VIP parking. We got to skip all the lines. We got to hang out in a pretty sick area. So that was fun. That was cool. But then once we got into the Cotton Bowl, everyone was like, this fucking guy. So, and then I went up and fucked with him, got his autograph in the middle of the whole thing just to be a dickhead. But anyways, Jason White, cool dude. He's my little brother's stepdad, which is weird to me still. But anyways, leading passer on both teams, by the way, coming into this game is Arch Manning. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. And that makes sense to me because Quinn Ewers, again, oblique injury.
So I missed 2 games, though.
Doesn't sound like, even though it sounds like he's recovered based on the reports I've seen, that like he's been practicing, he looks better, he's throwing better. You use your hip, you use those muscles when you're throwing the ball, especially him. I guess all quarterbacks do. I don't know why I said just him. But yeah, and Arch Manning's, I guess at this point, played more games than him. He started 3 games.
He started 2. He's played in 3.
Yes.
Well, he's played in, I think, every game, but he came in for Quinn 3 games ago and he started 2. So, yeah, I guess they played about the same time. That makes sense. He's got more garbage time to play. So,
couple of things. Texas, they were more explosive and more dangerous on the D line last year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Byron Murphy, Devondre Sweat, those dudes are doing good in the NFL right now. Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, first round. I mean, those were, you know, yeah.
Shavian Sanders.
Yeah. Sanders, he did not look good against Chicago, by the way, last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with him. It's Pantheritis. He's got full-blown Panthers. Anyway, they're not as explosive. They haven't really missed a beat. And I didn't feel like they would at wide receiver because you get Isaiah Bond, who was rated Alabama last year. Jonte Cook, who I'm the highest, like, of all the receivers that they have, I thought you can replace, like, you're losing Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell. You're still Jonte Cook, which I feel maybe not as great, but that's still very explosive. Like, on the meter, I guess it's like the amplifier meter, like it's a 10 with those 2 guys that got drafted, but then it's like a 9.5 with the receivers that they have now. Ryan Wingo, the 5-star wide receiver, he's been great. Their other wide receiver, Moore, is it Dante Moore? I might be.
No, Dante Moore's quarterback at Oregon, but
No. It's Moore. His last name is Moore.
Let me look.
DeAndre Moore.
Yes.
DeAndre Moore Jr.
Yes.
He's been really good. Like I said, we talked about Ryan Wingo. Isaiah Bond he looks more explosive and just better than he did last year at Bama.
Yeah.
Gunnar Helm, he's been really good for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the same type of player that JT Sanders was, but he's doing really good in that offense. Their offensive
Silas
line,
Bowman and Matthew Goldman look good too.
We were afraid that Kelvin Banks, left tackle, was going to take that next step because we talked about it last year. He just wasn't there yet. He's been playing a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive line as a whole is just better, and like this is a group that Sarkisian was able to keep together and not lose in the transfer portal, and basically like UT, hey, give me all of your money. We're going to get these players, and I'm going to coach them and develop them. He's done a good job. They're a veteran group. They're really good. Having the loss of CJ Baxter has hurt their running game. Their running game is not as explosive as it was last year. Jonathan Brooks is just a good player.
Yeah.
It sucks that he's with the Panthers. But, he's Jaden Blue. I mean, he's been good. Right?
Sorry, I was watching Luis Arias hit. Yeah, he's been good. Their running game hasn't been super explosive. Their running game has been mediocre at best.
But they run the rock. I mean,
they do. Their interior offensive line is the weakest point on their offense. Their running game hasn't been all that great, especially between the tackles.
I can't get out of my head what they did to Michigan, though.
Yeah, Michigan didn't show up for that football game, though.
I think it was that, and Texas absolutely
just Dodgers just won.
Yep. Congrats to the Dodgers. Anyways.
I think OU has the best run defense in the SEC. I think OU's run defense is going to have to show up and play just like they have been and force Texas to beat you through the air, which they certainly can do. They really can. But I don't know if they're going to go with a 3-down front like they did against Tennessee, if they're going to go more of an aggressive 4-man front, if they're going to try to mix it up. I would think they go multiple and try to keep pressure on Quinn as much as possible and force him into mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's just tough.
Which quarterback would you rather play against?
Arch Manning.
Isn't that crazy? Because last year, what we had been saying, we'd much rather play up against Quinn Ewers, and then he's looked better, dude. I mean, he's taken that step. He's matured. He's more comfortable with the system. He made a really. He did the Quinn Ewers, he threw a really dumb interception against Colorado State where it was yep, there's Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I mean, he's looked really good. He's efficient. He's throwing the ball well.
I'm hoping
the talent's there. We never doubted the talent. We thought he was a good quarterback. He just wasn't elite. He didn't have, the Caleb Williams, the Jaden Daniels. He wasn't the quarterback that everybody kind of made him out to be. He's looked a lot better.
Yes.
And I'm kind of afraid because it looks like we have a tired defense. They've been on the field a lot. And after seeing what Arkansas did to Tennessee, it kind of feels like Texas can be just as explosive in the air as Tennessee was. So, I think they're going to score points. They are. They're going to score points. I don't think they're going to score 40. I don't think they're going to score 35. I don't think they score 31. I think maybe 28 is kind of their high end. The question is, can Oklahoma score 28? Given what we know about Latrell and how the offense has looked. I know new quarterback had time to install stuff. Bill Bedenbaugh's kind of had time to work with getting the offensive line healthier, getting Jake Taylor ready.
That's the good thing is the offensive line is at its healthiest point right now. It just sucks that it comes at the expense of the wide receiver core. But there were some flashes last week. The offensive line played their best week last week. 2 weeks ago. There were some flashes against Auburn.
And that Auburn defensive front's pretty good. They're not.
On the interior, they're better than Texas. On the interior of the defensive line, I think they're better than Texas.
I'll say this. I've always been high on Alfred Collins. When Alfred Collins committed as a freshman, 5-star, it's that guy's going to be a really good fucking player. And he's finally able to show it now that he's kind of the main guy.
Yeah.
Him and, what was it, 45? I can't think of his name.
Colin Simmons?
No, 45.
Oh, 45. Shit.
This is bad. Sorry.
We are awful.
We're great at podcasting.
We just don't care about Texas. 45.
Vernon Broughton.
Yeah, Vernon Broughton.
Unit. 6'4", 310. Unit. Yeah. That guy he might be better than Alfred Collins. I mean, Alfred Collins is definitely there. He's been there the longest. He's gonna be the most disruptive.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's offensive line. Listen, Texas, very base defense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
Do
run a
they
base
blitz?
4-2-5. They don't
They
blitz. They
don't
have the
blitz.
lowest pressure rate or the lowest blitz rate in the SEC.
What's something that we struggled with against Tennessee? When defenders cross face.
Yep.
I'm kind of afraid that they're going to plan something for that. Now communication's gotten better, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We're kind of looking at this. Obviously, being an OU fan, like I'm trying my best to be. I'm trying to see a path, and there is, and it's just Michael Hawkins just playing the
game
the
of
best
his
you could
life.
ever. Yeah, like basically, like this is his like Caleb Williams moment. Like, hey, if you're gonna be like a high-end prospect or like a high-end elite college quarterback, like this isn't a bad Texas defense. They're better than they were. They're better in the secondary. They're more veteran. Like Malik Muhammad, he's gotten better. He struggled last year a little bit. He's gotten a lot better. He got a lot better last season. Anthony Hill.
Freak out.
Man, I wish he would have stayed committed to Oklahoma, man.
Fuck, I know, dude.
That guy was, or he committed to Oklahoma, then went to Texas A&M and committed there, and then went to Texas, right?
Yeah.
Because Harold Perkins.
Yeah, he was just like wherever I'm at last is where I'm going. So
yeah,
and that was a true last visit wins.
And he's, I guess you could say, the weakest point on defense, and that's not even like I'm not even trying to like talk down on him. He's still really fucking good. Like he's playing well. He misses gaps. I mean, he's kind of afraid of contact points. But I think that's kind of like, hey, like I can't afford to get injured either.
He plays football like an athlete and not a linebacker. That's why. That's what
may be able to help him in this game because Oklahoma's offense hasn't. I mean, they're 121st in the country.
Yeah.
So like you can play like an athlete. Like you don't have to be incredibly smart unless Michael Hawkins is dicing you, which you're going to need a big game from the receivers in the run game.
What would you feel better about? A 14-13 win for OU? The offense is just awful. Obviously, we want to win, right? That's all we want is for OU to win this game. But a 14-13 win, OU's offense looks awful. Maybe it's even a touchdown from special teams or defense. Or OU loses 31-30 and the offense has 400 plus yards of offense. Defense looks good, just gets beat a couple times because Texas is just a legit power offense. Like, what would make you feel better?
14-13 win. I'd rather just have the win.
Me too.
I think the offense will figure it out. They did that last season where it was like
yeah,
they were explosive in the air because they had all the receivers, but then they finally figured out the run game and the offensive line got better. So
what do you think? Sorry, continue.
I'd rather have the 14-13 win, 5-1. Sark has an Oklahoma problem, same way Kirby Smart has an Alabama problem. And then we start to figure it out. Like Michael Hawkins. Okay, 14-13 win, but both touchdowns are from the offense.
Yeah. What do you think? And I'm going to have maybe a pretty surprising, it might not be that surprising. It surprised people when I talked to them earlier. What do you think is the strongest unit for either team? Like all combined. So special teams, offense, defense for both teams. All 6 units. What do you think is strongest in this game?
I'd say Oklahoma's linebackers.
Not like defense, offense, special teams. Like out of those 3 for each team, what do you think is strongest?
Like for each team, or just like of all the teams, who has the strongest?
Both teams combined. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd rather answer this a different way, but I guess. Okay, I'll play a little game. This is gonna be surprising, but having Luke Gelsinga.
God damn it, you motherfucker!
I mean,
that was my answer. OU's punt team is the strongest unit in this game.
I still don't think that's going to be enough, though.
No, it's not.
Going to be great, but like you need the offense to produce.
Texas's punt team is the weakest. if you can get them backed up in the OU side of the bowl, and maybe it's like 4th and 20, he's punting from his own end zone, something like that, even if it's early in the game, and you can steal some points there, or set the offense up with really good field position. We've seen crazier shit happen. Last year, Quinn Ewers throws a pick on the second play, OU scores a touchdown, goes down, flip sides, doesn't get the fucking score, and then gets a block punt in their own fucking end zone.
Yeah.
And it resets the game.
Shit. 2021. I mean, Texas was awful. They were 1-4 going into that game, and they scored 28 points in like the first quarter. It was like, oh my God, like what the fuck is happening? And then Oklahoma comes back to win. 2018, you know, Oklahoma, Kyler Murray, undefeated. It's like, yeah, they're like 7-point favorites, and then Texas wins the game. Like they were just outright the stronger unit.
It's the crazy. It's the best rivalry.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think 15.5. I've taken Oklahoma 15.5 easy.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I'd take Oklahoma 10.5. It's a one possession.
I don't know.
Well, here's how I see it.
If it gets under 13, like if it's like 11.5 or 12, I think Texas is the easy bet. But 15.5 is a lot of points.
Yeah.
For that rivalry game, and anything can happen.
Here's my thought process.
Also love the over 15.5. 15.5 is easy in my opinion, because I think both teams are going to score points. I think it's going to be, go ahead.
You're good. Here's my thought process on it. Obviously, I'm picking OU to win. I'm going to take OU to win. OU's going to win 27-23. That's my thought.
You should. Absolutely. You're an OU fan.
But if Texas is going to win this game, I think it's a one-possession game as we hit the 2-minute warning, and Texas just closes the door.
Like they're already up? Like they're up 27?
Yeah. So
let's say they're up like 24 to like maybe either 24 to 14 or 24 to 21, and like Oklahoma just scored, and then it's like, okay, now they just have to bleed the clock.
They need to stop. Yeah, Texas has to play the clock, and they either seal the deal with they get enough first downs, or they just put something through the uprights, they put it in the end zone, and it's just over. Like that's what my brain says is going to happen, but my heart says OU's going to win this game 27-23. I think OU only wins this game if it's played in the 20s.
What's a worse, like, well, obviously, like, I know what the answer is going to be, but, like, would you rather, this is going to be a really dumb question, but, like, I don't know, sometimes heartbreakers are the worst. Like, Oklahoma's up, and Texas gets the game-winning touchdown like Oklahoma did last year. They get the game-winning touchdown, or we just lose 28-0. Would you rather it be, like, already decided, or would you rather, like...
It depends on how Texas gets it. If Texas gets it and it's like 17-13, and OU was up like 13-10, I'd be pretty heartbroken, because I'm like, yeah, we have the same issues. Texas they couldn't play against our offense. Like, just one of those things. But if it's one of those things where it's 27-24, OU just goes down and scores, and Texas just puts the drive of their life together and wins it with 31 points. It's like, I mean, you can't expect OU right now to score that much. You know what I mean? So I think it depends on how it plays out. If it's 28-0, I'm painting my walls with my brain. Like that's what happens in that scenario.
Don't do that, buddy. I need you on this podcast.
If we get blanked, I'm ending it all, dude. I can't do that.
No. Okay. I'm gonna take. I just don't. I ride for my team always, and I'm an OU fan. I want us to win this game very much.
Yep.
It's like last year, like implications. It's like Texas looks like a national title team. They just beat, what they did to Alabama last year, and then what we were able to beat them. It's like that changes the scope of everything.
Yep.
And then this year, what they did to Michigan, which Michigan doesn't look like a great team at all. I mean, they don't look good. Nowhere near what they looked like last year. Number one team, and then now we are nowhere near as productive. There's no talent gap. I don't think there's a talent gap. I think it's injury plague and production. Like there's a production gap.
Yeah, I completely agree.
There is a big production gap. But I don't know. I think Texas is going to win the game.
That's what my brain
maybe
says.
I think 27-24. I think my heart says like Sooner Magic. Oklahoma wins. That's me basically just being like a dumb fan that's always going to ride for his team, as I should. Texas fans should do the exact same thing. They expected they were 1-4 going into the Red River 2021, and they're like, we're going to win this game.
What's the outlook on this season? Say we lose tomorrow. Everything's still in front of us, right?
Tight, like if it's 27-24, offense is better.
Yeah.
I think we would beat Ole Miss and South Carolina and Missouri. God, we didn't even talk about that. Texas A&M. We need to watch out for them. Yeah, we need to watch out for them.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh my God, Cam Rising's hurt again.
Of course.
He got rolled up on pretty bad though. That was nasty. Oh, he kept playing though. Okay, never mind. But anyway, sorry. Can you hear my dog, by the way?
No, I can't.
Okay, thank God.
No, I can't hear it. You got that dog in him?
Yes.
So, what were you asking? I forgot. I'm sorry.
What's the outlook on the season? Say that OU loses tomorrow.
27-24 looks a lot more promising. You would hope that maybe next year nobody gets hurt and you would have a really good football team.
Yeah.
Maybe like a playoff caliber team. You probably lose. You probably look at South Carolina and go, okay, that's a winnable game. Like we beat them. You might lose to Ole Miss since it's on the road, but it's going to be a really close game. I think you beat Missouri in Columbia. Alabama would be a tough one, but it's in Norman. If the offense finally figures it out and gets it together, I think they could win that game, but more than likely it's probably going to be like a loss. I would say they beat Alabama at home, very close game. Depending on how LSU looks, you probably lose in Death Valley. So 8-4.
8-4, about where we thought it'd be.
Yeah, 8-4 because of the injury plague and Emmett Jones. Like we're gonna have questions about what was like, how did he not develop like the younger guys? Which I still believe in Emmett Jones 100%. I think Zion Kearney and all those guys are gonna be really, really good. But I'm very disappointed so far in Zion Reagans. He has not been what I thought, what we had been told he was.
Yeah, no, he has not looked good at all. But I'm in the same boat. I think 8-4 is completely feasible. I think.
Look, it's a new college football. Like Oklahoma, we're so used to being great. All these teams have caught up. I mean, that's just kind of the reality of it. Like I see it from, I look at things realistically. Like Oklahoma, like Brent Venables is, he's still the guy in my opinion. He's still great recruiting in the defense. He fixed the defense. He absolutely fixed the defense. But other teams have figured it out. It's like, hey, NIL's in play. Like now they're gonna have to figure out NIL. Like, hey, we're gonna have to like pay for really good players to plug up some holes. When we need them, like when we absolutely need them. And he did that with Dominic Williams. But you're also gonna have to do it on offense too. Yeah. So he also probably didn't expect all of these guys to get hurt.
No one could have expected your entirety of your receiving core to go down.
Yeah. So. But next man up mentality, like it's not going to be an excuse for me. It just isn't. If we lose, Texas is the better team, and they figured it out. And Sark is a really good coach. I mean, that's just Sark is a good coach. He's a great play designer for screens.
Yeah.
Really good at what he does.
He's changed the culture in Austin.
Yeah. I think it's fun when Texas is good. It makes the rivalry. It makes college football interesting when Oklahoma and Texas are really good teams.
Yep.
Same thing with Michigan and Ohio State. Like that rivalry was fun the past 3 years because both those teams are really fucking good. Now Oklahoma probably don't deserve to be the 18th ranked team in the country. Just in my opinion, they're probably 22nd.
Yeah.
I'm okay with them putting this at 18, but yeah, I mean it's an uphill battle. I love the over. It was 50.5. Now it's 48.5.
Mm-hmm.
I like the points with Oklahoma. If I'm looking at it from a gambling perspective, because it's the Red River Shootout. Like it's unlike any other rivalry in the country. It's the only rivalry game where it's split half and half in a stadium, and that there's only one game that's played there. I'm glad that they didn't really do much with renovations. Like, you got to keep that stadium the same. Like, it's just.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want them to change it too much. Like, I think some upkeep, some maintenance stuff to it's cool, but you got to leave the pot mold the cotton.
What do you think is the key for Oklahoma defensively and Oklahoma offensively?
Offensively, I think you have to try to put the run game together. That's the biggest hope is whether it's quarterback run game, you got to eclipse 150 rushing yards in this game.
If you are the offensive coordinator, what is your bread and butter run concept?
It's not fucking inside zone. I can tell you that. It's going to be some outside zone. It's going to be some stretch, some off tackle type stuff. Not power run because that's where we struggled, but I think you can attack.
Counter?
I'd run. Yeah.
Maybe some misdirection?
UTSA actually moved the ball pretty well running counter against Texas. I think you kind of need to follow that blueprint. Plus, I think you need to move the pocket, get Mike comfortable, and let him. I mean, the best passing place he had outside of the deep ball to J.J. Hester was when they moved the pocket for him. Like, he found Bauer Sharp on a really long pass, really long by this year's standards. I think it was like 30, 40 yards, but it was they moved the pocket, it was play action, boot, and rolled out, moved the pocket, and he split out to the outside and then up the sideline. They found him. So on defense, it's going to be force them. Look, they're not going to run the ball, I don't think, too well. He's had too good of a run defense this year. I think they're going to need to let the linebackers play free, but I think they're going to play a little bit more like kind of cloud coverage, try to keep everything underneath them. Don't get beat deep because that's really where OU's been worst at on defense this year is getting beat deep. But if they try to keep everything in front of them, just play some cloud coverage and make Texas and make Quinn Ewers have to make tight window throws to beat you, that's the best shot they've got.
Do we worry about Kenai Walker at all?
No, I've gone back and watched a lot of it. Sometimes I feel like when he's gotten beat,
do you think it's when he's on an island? Do you think it's like when he's like 1-on-1 and he's expecting a safety to be back there? Like, is it one of those like, hey, we're just gonna have to change it up, do like a multiple where you have like a Peyton Bowen back there? If you're gonna blitz with RSJ, like maybe you take a linebacker off the field.
Yeah, I think so.
Have like a nickel out there.
A little bit of a light package.
I'm more confident in this defense if we had Gentry Williams and Kendall Dolby.
Completely agree.
Dude, that sucks what happened to Kendall Dolby, man. That's just like, it was so unlucky.
It hurts my soul. I hope he can get a medical shirt and come back.
Yeah. Like, it was so unlucky, like the way the offensive lineman landed on him. But Sammy Omosigho's going to have to, he's got to step up, play a big role.
He's played well.
McCullough is back.
Deshaun is back. Deshaun does look to be back. Taylor Tatum's also back. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah. Maybe this is a game where like Sawchuk can kind of get going. Because remember how we talked about Sawchuk just like at the later half of the season, like this is where he kind of molds. Defenses are going to be tough though.
He had a good run against Auburn that got wiped off the board due to
the holding,
the flag. So that's the other thing. OU's going to have to play. It was OU's going to have to play a near perfect and very clean football game for them to win.
Which wide receivers? I mean, I guess all of them, but like, which wide receiver is going to have to be the standout?
J.J. Hester or Brennan Thompson. If you're going to let Brennan Thompson,
that's what I was thinking.
Let him go. Let him go. They're going to have to connect with the deep balls. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Hawkins has to find him, but he's got to play safe too. Like he's got to be quick with decision making, and he's just got to let it rip.
Yep.
Our receivers are gonna have to show up. Maybe Petaway, get him on some.
I would hope so.
In the middle of the field.
I would hope so.
So.
But either way, man.
You're just gonna have to do a lot of misdirection. The offensive line goes one way. Michael Hawkins rolls out. They're going after him like it's gonna be a run. Find the guy, that's open.
I think.
Find a soft spot in the zone. Like, I don't know how much zone Texas plays, but if they're going to do it, receivers are going to have to find that open space.
I think the biggest key outside of the run game for OU in the past game, I think Bauer Sharp's going to have the game of his career.
Blocking and receiving.
God, if he could just slow somebody down.
Going to have to run the ball too. They have to get him involved. His speed and like his running ability, like
they got to show it a few times to really threaten Texas and make them very, very aware of it more so than they already are.
He's also going to have to do some more Sam Bradfords when if they get into the red zone, if they get on the goal line.
He's going to have to fly through the air. He's going to have to put everything on the line, which I don't doubt that he will. So, you have any other final thoughts on this game?
No, I don't.
If it comes down to a game-winning field goal, 35 to 50 yards out, how confident are you?
In Zach Schmidt?
Or Tyler Keltner?
Oof. 35, but it's like middle of the field? Yes. If they're playing on the hash?
If we're down 2 and it's a 42-yard kick from the right hash, A, who do you want taking it? And B, what's your level of confidence in either guy?
Keltner only missed an extra point this season, right? Pretty like egregious extra point.
He's missed a kick, I want to say.
He's also made kicks. Like
he has made kicks. But he hasn't made them in a clutch moment. If anything...
Does Gabe Burkage have any playing time left?
Fuck that. Is Austin Seibert at this point have any fucking playing time left? I'd almost take little Jimmy Stevens.
I would take Burkage over any kicker we ever had, dude. He was clutch. He had an egregious miss in the Red River game in 2020, but other than that, dude was nails. Him and Honeycutt and Seibert. Yeah,
that is true.
I don't know.
Yeah, Tyler Keltner's 6 for 7 on the season. He missed one between 40 and 49 yards.
He made a 50-yarder though. I
know
it's Temple, but it's like.
And he's 12 to 13 on extra points.
Get the nerves out, just Schmidt, I guess. It's crazy to say. Maybe he's just gotten better. Do we have another one? Can Luke Ozinga kick?
Fuck.
Yeah, you got to make your field goals. Like you have to be when you're in the red zone. You got to be 100% in the red zone.
You got to walk away with points. However it goes, you have to walk away with points.
Yep, got to 100%. If you back them up in their 1, you got to get a safety for the defense. Got to get back there. Yeah, man. I'm so excited for the game though. Like I can't it's weird. Wait. I don't really feel nervous. I guess because like what's the talk going to be? Oh yeah, Brent Venables. Like everybody's going to talk about Brent Venables. We know like what that team is going to be in the future with the recruiting that he's done and the development that he's had. And like what's just kind of gone on for him this season. I don't think
he just needs
to he's gonna have to
run.
He's gonna have to light a fire under Seth Luttrell and John Finley's ass, like, hey, game management. Like, I've been giving you the keys. If I have to step in, like he might have to step in and be like, hey, no, we're not doing this. Like, we need to have a 2-minute drill, or hey, we need to win the middle 8. Like I think he's smart enough now to have good game management. Like he's been coaching for a long time and he's seen what it takes. He did it last year.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Texas has more to lose than Oklahoma has to win.
Yeah. No, certainly. With a win though, it does pull you right back into the forefront of the playoff race though, and especially.
Will it feel fluky if they win? I guess it depends, right?
Like it depends on how they win. Yeah.
Yeah, because last year was like not fluky at all, and
exactly.
The Auburn win was kind of fluky in a way.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like obviously they did this. The missed field goals kind of gave them the opportunity, but it still felt kind of fluky.
Yeah. No, for sure. But okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on here. Another big game that we got. This one's kind of a little bit under the radar, but I wanted to touch on it just real quick. Washington, Iowa, Big Ten game, 11 a.m. on Fox. I think it's going to be a fun one, man. Washington coming off the big win against Michigan. Iowa's Iowa. So
where does Washington find these receivers?
I have no idea.
Because
wherever OU's not looking.
Denzel Austin, that guy's a stud, and he's huge. He's like 6'4", like like 15 pounds. Like he looks like a Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where Washington finds these wide receivers. Will Rogers he didn't play bad last week either.
He's got 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He looks well. He's playing well.
Like he's playing all right. I mean, he wasn't great in the game against Michigan, but he's still I thought he was good. The interception was like, what are you doing? But that's also Michigan's defense, throwing different shit at you. Iowa, that loss to Ohio State didn't really change how I thought about Iowa. I didn't really feel confident. No one thought Iowa was going to win that game. Yeah. 7 points against that defense with what we've known historically about Iowa's offense almost feels like, hey, they got a touchdown, and that defense is the best in the country. So
exactly.
I guess I still like Washington though.
I do too.
Even though it's on the road, and Iowa's defense is really good. I mean, they're still good, but McNamara is going to have to. I think Washington's going to be able to score. I don't know if Iowa can score 21 points. Now, Washington's defense isn't very good. Jed Fish will get that team going. He's a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
He's a very good coach. But with where it's at right now, is this because they play Indiana next, and then they play USC and Penn State. They got a tough slate. They have one game in the next 5 or 6 that's an easy win, and that's it. All of them. This is a must win for Washington.
Yeah.
I'm going to declare it a must win for Washington because you got Indiana 6-0. Wow.
Yeah.
How about
Cignetti?
Man? Great coach.
The
Hoosiers. Joe Buck is very happy right now. And then they got USC. We know how we feel about USC and Lincoln Riley teams, but I think USC can probably win that game depending on how Miller Moss plays. Yep. Then they got Penn State in Happy Valley. That's going to be a whiteout, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Funny enough, people looked at that game preseason and was like, really? This is the whiteout? And now they're like, oh, shit.
Depending on how Washington looks, if they beat Iowa and Indiana, and that's Indiana's first loss of the season, that whiteout's going to be – that might be game day.
Could be. It could be. Depends on what else we got going on that week.
Penn State hasn't had game day yet this season, have they?
No.
Yeah. So Happy Valley could be game day.
Yeah, no, dude. They went when they played Kent State. The Golden Flashes. That absolute gauntlet of a program.
Yeah. Don't forget. Never forget. I like Washington in this game.
I do too. Next game, we kind of referenced both teams just a couple minutes ago. One of the next bigger games on the schedule. This is just absolutely loaded this weekend. Penn State travels to the Coliseum, take on the Fighting Lincoln Rileys. And coming off that loss last week to Minnesota, also awesome for Marcus Major to go get that win with the Gophers last week. But anyways.
Dude, speaking of other running backs, Tommy Walker kind of went off against
he did.
Purdue for Wisconsin.
Well,
did you see the celebration? Did you?
Yeah.
Did you see the Wisconsin celebration via shotgun?
Yeah.
Football guys.
Fucking awesome. But yes, Penn State is traveling to the Coliseum. They are. What are they favored by? They're 3.5-point favorites in the Coliseum. USC kind of looked a little more stagnant on offense. They haven't been the same gauntlet that you'd expect. Obviously, Lincoln Riley had the deal with his player, not wanting to do the interview. That's normal Lincoln Riley shit. USC defense hasn't been, I don't think, it's been about what I expected. Improved, but not improved enough to carry the team in any stretch of the imagination. I think Penn State's going to go in here.
Players, that's it.
Yeah, I think Penn State's going to go in here and win by 10+ points.
I think so too. I think 3.5 is generous.
It's very. I think they're giving a lot of points to travel at this point.
Yeah, and that could be. I mean, that again, it's in the Coliseum. Penn State does have to travel. James Franklin. We got to ride the bus for an hour and a half. I mean, man, that's really tough for him. I've also never flown on a private plane and had to go on a short runway, so I guess I don't know. I mean, that could be shitty, but
it could be very treacherous, man.
Yeah, that could be terrible. But I feel like Penn State has been a team that they've just been kind of on cruise control.
Yeah.
The game against UCLA, I mean, 27-11 was the final score. It felt much,
it was never
the gap
that close.
The gap was much bigger than that, in my opinion.
If they would have won by 60, I wouldn't have blinked.
That defense is still really good. What is their like? Are they like a top 10 defense in the country? Probably not, because Bowling Green fucking Which Bowling Green's a good team, but yeah, Bowling Green like just throw a clinic against them.
It's Mac Power, man.
But since then, like their defense has gotten a lot better. It's crazy what an offensive coordinator can do to a 5-star quarterback that was basically kind of written off, and they're like, yeah, this guy was super overrated. Connell Lickey is going to be a head coach. I am kind of right there with you. I don't see a path for USC unless USC can tackle and they can create second and long, third and long situations and force Penn State to
beat them through the air,
which they will probably be able to. But then they're going to be able to run the game. The run game is really good with those two running backs.
Yeah.
I love Connell Lickey's playbook, dude. I love what he does in the run game. But like Miller Moss, guy was like a Heisman favorite because going into the season, what he did to Louisville in the playoff game, and then Lincoln Riley. I mean, you're kind of right. Like since then, I mean, it hasn't been great for him.
Yeah.
If USC is going to win this game, they're just going to have to score a bunch of points, right? Like,
yeah,
hey,
they're going to have to.
Can your offense match mine? And it almost feels like when you have Andy Connell-Nicky and Drew Aller playing the way that he's been playing, and the run game that they have, and the talent that they just have on the team. I mean, their overall talent, like they're just a better football team. There's a reason they're the number 4 team in the country, which might be crazy, but I mean,
yeah, 4 feels a bit aggressive at this point.
But the win against Illinois was impressive, though.
Like, yeah, but the other thing is everyone's lost in front of them, and that's kind of the reason why they're at 4.
You kind of have to resume.
Yeah.
I also can understand them being number 4 because that's a good Illinois team. In 21-7, it didn't even feel that close.
No,
like
they were in control for the entire game.
Jogging. Yeah, it just felt like they were jogging the entire game. They're going to play USC, and I think they're going to open the floodgates a little bit.
Yeah. Penn State, I think, is going to be the biggest benefactor of the expanded playoff, by the way, because if they still lose to Ohio State, like,
they're in.
Yeah, they're still in. They're an 8 through 10 seed or an 8 through 12 seed, and they might even host a playoff game. Imagine like them hosting Georgia. Dude.
That'd be insane. Bama.
Yeah. Imagine a whiteout playoff game. Dude. Unreal.
That'd be
unfucking real.
That'd be fucking awesome. But there could be a possibility that Lincoln Riley, even though he had weeks to prepare for Minnesota, might have been prepared. Maybe he was looking ahead to Penn State.
Yeah.
Which was stupid because they lost at the beginning of Minnesota. Yeah. But yeah, I'm there with you. I think Penn State wins very comfortably.
Yeah. No, certainly. We'll get into this one. And then yes, certainly. We'll get into this one. We'll follow back with the game day game, and then we'll finish with a couple more. Ole Miss LSU. Ole Miss bounces back last week against South Carolina, who kind of looks dead right now. LSU with a loss to Notre Dame, or not Notre Dame, was it USC to start the season, has kind of bounced back and has looked a lot better. What are your thoughts on this? It's in Tiger Stadium, and Ole Miss is getting 3.5. I lean LSU.
Isn't Ole Miss beat up? Like, I saw a report that apparently, like, they're pretty beat up as a team. Like, some of their guys are, which it happens in football, but like they were thinking of like sitting, like their running back is hurt. They got some guys on the defense that are banged up. Walter Nolan, he's hurt. He got hurt in the game last week. They had to take him off the field. He had a leg injury.
Yeah.
So, like, they're pretty beat up. And this is probably the best offense that they've faced so far.
Yeah.
K. Durham is also he's awesome. Like I hope Taylor Tatum can prove that he's the number one running back from the 2024 recruiting class.
God,
because K. Durham has kind of looked like, hey, how could you take Taylor Tatum over K. Durham? I get he's the number one, but Oklahoma kid. Yeah. And I was high on him. Like I was very high on him. A lot of people, LSU fans, were basically kind of arguing like he should be like the number one in the running back class, and I almost kind of agreed watching his tape. But that's neither here nor there. I kind of lean LSU too, and I would rather, I guess, Ole Miss win though, because you know how I feel about Brian Kelly. But they haven't really solved defense, so that's going to be an issue. Like their defense is still, and Harold Perkins. Maybe this defense is better without Harold Perkins. He gets injured.
It almost feels that way.
Yeah, he gets hurt. He's out for the season. That's a really shitty injury for him because he was an NFL like first round, second round prospect. But they didn't, again, it's just them not playing him right. They're not playing him as a linebacker like they should, but their defenses look better since.
Yeah.
They played really well against UCLA, not saying much. And then South Alabama, you think South Alabama was probably going to score 24 points and going into that game after watching the South Carolina game. But then, I don't know, it's in Death Valley. We know that environment is insane. It's going to be a massive game. Is that Herb Street and Fowler?
No, Herb Street and Fowler are calling the OU game.
Are they?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're calling Red River.
Probably should have called the Ole Miss LSU game.
Yeah, I know.
I guess I'm glad that they're calling OU Texas game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably going to be a much better game.
Are you starting to feel this way? Look, we're what, 2 weeks into SEC play now, 2 weeks into being pulled into the SEC. Does it feel more so now than ever that anybody can beat anybody at this point?
Yes, 100%. That's just the SEC. That's just been the grind of the SEC.
Feels like watching NFL football sometimes.
Yeah.
Anybody
basically is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, before like the conference realignment, they were the deepest, toughest, conference in college football. Now Big Ten is right there. Is right there with them.
Yeah, but they only got deeper and tougher. Well, boss. But anyways, yeah, I lean LSU in this one. I think it's crazy that Ole Miss is favored in this.
That game last year was phenomenal. I hope we have the exact same game as last year.
I do as well.
Absolutely insane.
If OU loses, I'm going to need a couple. Like, I'm going to need this game and the Ohio State-Oregon game to be absolute bangers to
I need an
lift my
absolute,
spirits.
atom bomb, nuclear atom bomb of points in this game. Like, I want, a 65-58.
You remember that, you remember the Texas A&M LSU game? I think they went into, 7-0. I need that. That's what I want.
I just hope it happens in regulation, though.
Yes. No, exactly. I'm not watching 52 fucking 2-point conversions.
Yeah. I hope we get just an absolute banger of an over.
Yes. I completely agree. I do like the over as well. 62.5. I like that
over. I love the over. I think that's my most comfortable bet is the 62.5.
Yeah.
In fact,
moving on.
That's my favorite bet of the
Yes, 100%. Keep talking about SEC ball. A couple 3-2 SEC teams. Vanderbilt goes into Lexington to Kroger Field and takes on the Fighting Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky's getting 12.5 points in this game, dude.
Well, their defense and they were 1 point away, and a Mark Stoops not hanging 8 was the absolute opposite of Dan Campbell. And they could have beaten Georgia if they would have at least tried to go for it. Yeah. More than likely, they lost by a point. Then they beat Ole Miss, who just suffocated South Carolina. And South Carolina beat Kentucky, which is funny. But
anybody can beat anybody. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But Kentucky's defense is probably the best in the SEC right now.
Yeah.
Between them and like Oklahoma. I'd say like Oklahoma, Kentucky,
Tennessee, Georgia.
Yeah, Tennessee. I guess you could put Arkansas in there too. I mean, shit.
Arkansas.
14 points and all those turnovers against Auburn. And then like what they did to what we thought, elite Tennessee offense. I mean, riding high. Is this one of those like, because sometimes this happens like with the team, it's like they beat, like what Vanderbilt did to Alabama is insane. I mean, that's just an absolute win. You think it's one of those like they're riding high. This looks like a team that everybody's going to be absolutely like putting their stock in, and then they just kind of have like a kind of like a club. Like it's kind of like what we think that the Vikings are going to do with Sam Darnold, even though I trust Diego Papio, but it's like one of those like if this team
they're going to come off the high at some point.
Yeah, they're going to come off the high. Exactly, that's what I was trying to say. Like I think Kentucky and Mark Stoops can force them to play a low-scoring game, which is exactly what they're going to want them to do. And I think if their defense can force Vanderbilt's offense to play their game, I think 12.5 is crazy, but I do think it could be like a touchdown game. I think Kentucky can win. This is going to sound crazy, but I think they could win like 17-10.
Yeah, no, I completely could see that. You got to see if Vanderbilt has the gas in the tank to do it again, though. That's the biggest thing.
I don't know who to root for in this game because I'm such a Diego Pavia fan. I've been a fan of his for a long time.
I know it's hard to root against the Stoops, though.
Yeah, exactly. I love Mark Stoops too, and what he's done for Kentucky and beating Ole Miss in the fashion that he did, where it wasn't fluky.
I still think I think Kentucky walks away with this one. I think Vanderbilt covers, but I think Kentucky wins.
What are Vanderbilt? If they lose this game, obviously they're going to beat Ball State. Then they got Texas in Vanderbilt. Then they got to play Auburn in Jordan-Hare. Then they get South Carolina. Like, I think they can win 9 games.
I don't know about 9.
I think they could. I think they could beat Auburn. I think they can outscore them for sure. They can outscore them. I think they could beat South Carolina. Oddly enough, I think they could they outscored Bama, and that offense was, I mean, you know what that offense can do with Ryan Williams and all those studs and Jalen Milroe. I think they can outscore LSU. They probably lose to Tennessee. I think they win 9 games.
I'd still fall. I
like
think
8-4.
8's their ceiling. I think 8's their ceiling. I think what's more believable is 7.
I think this is their window, though. I think.
It certainly is.
Pavia leaves. Like, what are you going to do at quarterback? Because he's just a gamer, you know. You're going to need another one. You're going to have to hit the transfer portal, which has worked for him.
Yeah,
I like their coach too.
Yeah,
I like their coach a lot.
Last game I want to get into before we talk about the big one to end the day, or that's game day and everything. Kansas State, Colorado. Colorado's 2-0 in the Big 12. Kansas State's 4-1, number 18 team in the country. 1-1 in Big 12 play. Obviously, their loss to who did they lose to again? BYU.
Smacked by BYU.
Yeah, they did.
Which a lot of teams have this season.
I think Kansas State flipped a switch against Oklahoma State, and I don't know that I see them losing more than one more game in the Big 12, and I don't think it happens to Colorado.
I don't know, man. Colorado's been. That was an impressive win against UCF. Which UCF, maybe it might not have been as impressive considering what UCF did the next week.
Yeah.
To Florida, maybe Florida's gotten better too. You know, we don't know. They have the talent. We know that they do. Like if they just had to figure it out. If Colorado wins, is it going to be Travis Hunter Heisman moment? Or is it going to be Shedeur Sanders proving to be the best quarterback in this draft class?
I think it'd be Travis Hunter Heisman moment.
Like touchdown, like receiving touchdown and then like game-stealing interception?
Something along those lines, yeah.
It's weird because I don't know if you see it the way that I do. Doesn't it feel like Kansas State kind of has like they flipped their identity on offense?
Yes.
Do you think they did it for Avery Johnson?
Yes.
Do you think it was kind of stupid to flip their identity for Avery Johnson, considering what he can do in the run game?
No. If it works, if it wins you football games, do it.
Yeah, I agree. You know what happened last time he went on the road, though? BYU absolutely. I mean, they made him look like he was overrated. Now he's been good since. I agree with you. Like, I like Kansas State. I really do. I'm not gonna just. This one isn't as easy though. This might be the hardest one to pick, to be honest, because Colorado, Shedeur Sanders has taken that next step. Like he is a very good quarterback. I think he's the better quarterback in this game, and I think that's what it's going to come down to. I just think he has the most experience. Right now, he's a better passer. And I don't know why he doesn't take off and run more. Maybe he just isn't a runner, but he scrambles well. He has a good scramble drill.
I think he's
I like the wide receivers more too.
Yeah, but I my brain ever since when OU and Texas left.
Does Kansas State have a Ricardo Lockett?
No.
I guess Chase Brown. Guy's kind of stud.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Give me the breakdown. How do you think this game's going to go?
I think that Kansas State.
You think that guy shoving the burrito up his ass cleared the curse?
Yes, it is my It's my fantasy basketball profile picture. I'll just tell you that right now. But I think he did lift the curse on Kansas State. But more so than anything, this is gonna sound super.
Are we gonna have to do the same thing to win against Texas? Do we need to? Do I need to shove a State Fair corn dog up my ass?
You might have to a corny dog.
No, I can't do that. Man. I can't do that, man. I can't. I'll get somebody else to do it.
How about this? If OU loses, I'll eat 42 corny dogs. You just have to buy them and bring them to me. So, no, I'm not gonna say that because that's a lot of corn dogs. But anyways, I think that as funny and as nerdy as this is gonna sound, I think Kansas State is gonna out fundamental Colorado and win this game. They're gonna do the basics right. They're gonna play their game.
Like they're gonna go full nerd.
They're gonna go full Tim Duncan.
Not nerd. I guess that's just like good football.
They're gonna go full Tim Duncan.
Fundamentals.
Just Mr. Fundamental. I think Kansas State's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a hell of a game though. It's gonna be a fucking awesome nightcap.
-3.
I like it.
Do you think that's a push? Like Kansas State only wins by 3?
I could very well see it as a push. Yes.
What do we think of Colorado if Kansas State only beats them by 3? Are we starting to look at Colorado and be like, hey, that's what? I mean, let's just
they've surprised me this year.
Yeah, if you weren't a very big fan of Dion after what happened last season.
Yeah, they've surprised me this year. I've been thoroughly surprised with the fact that they're 4-1.
But it's a challenge, and we picked them to win the Big 12.
Yes, and I would still take Kansas State to win the Big. I mean, it's between Kansas State and Iowa State right now for me.
Jump for Texas Tech, dude.
I love the Cyclones.
Yeah. Rocco Beck, dude. That's the guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to look up stories to see if Dion said anything recently, but I couldn't.
Surprised he hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess he's locked in. Like he's seeing, hey, look what this football team's doing.
Yeah.
So.
There's one last game what's your prediction? Who do you think wins?
I like Kansas State as well, but I think Colorado's going to put up a hell of a fight, and I think it could even be within 2. I could definitely see a 33-31 game. I can even see I could see a weird fucking score too, 25-23.
Yeah.
Just random. I could see a scoregami.
I was just about to say, is this a scoregami? Would you bet? What would you rather?
That's not true. Actually,
would you rather bet?
There's probably another game that I could definitely see a scoregami. There's another game that I can see a scoregami.
What's that?
Pitt, California.
Pitt at 5-0 has been pretty crazy.
They've been fucking good, and their quarterback,
nasty.
Eli Holstein.
He's good. He's fucking good, dude.
We might be looking at him in a few years and say, like, first round pick. Potentially.
Yeah. Potentially. But yeah, I could very well see it. He's legit, dude. Would you rather bet Colorado to win outright or a scoregami for this game though? Since you bring it up.
Who would I rather win?
No, I'm saying, would you rather bet that Colorado wins or that there's a scoregami if you're going to bring it up?
I guess Colorado to win.
I guess that's fair. Kind of a dumb question. But anyways, dumb but fun question. Outside of OU, Texas, the biggest game this weekend. Number 2, Ohio State is being flown out to Eugene, Oregon to take on the number 3 ranked Oregon Ducks and Dylan Gabriel. Am I crazy for saying I think Oregon wins this game? Huh?
First of all, we didn't bring up Ole Miss, LSU. That uniform matchup should be awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
This game's going to have a really good. I think this is going to be a really good.
Yeah, Oregon's going blackout on this one, I think.
Ohio State. I guess they're just doing the whites, like.
Yeah, the silver and white, like normal.
Okay. There was a team last year that won the national championship that had a defense that suffocated you. Didn't really do much on offense, but they ran the fucking ball with 2 really good running backs. Didn't ask much for their QB. They just suffocated you. They suffocated life. They out-physicaled you. They just bullied the hell out of you. And it's like a boa constrictor. That was Michigan. And Ryan Day has completely copied that exact same Jim Harbaugh style of team, which isn't like Ryan Day with how we know his offense. But the quarterback play has been C.J. Stroud or Justin Fields for him.
Yeah.
It was Kyle McCord. Will Howard's kind of been a lateral movement. They get Will Howard. He's a better runner of the football, but I think that he's the same as a passer. Yeah. The only difference is with Ohio State is they have 2 absolute studs at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think. Let me ask you, what do you think? How do you think this game's going to go? Let me ask you what you think first.
I could honestly see this being very. Maybe this is just the bias and my newfound love after the last couple of years for Dylan Gabriel. I can see this game being very similar to OU Texas from last year, where you expect Ohio State's defense to come out and really just suffocate and just hold Oregon underwater, because Oregon's offense has not been the most consistent thing in the world this year. But I could see Dylan Gabriel putting the big game jacket on and just going out and willing this team to victory, because he's totally capable of doing it. But I think Ohio State's defense is just too good.
They fucking fly, dude. They are
so
good.
They are
really fucking good at
Jim Knowles is still there, right?
Yep.
That's the reason why. He's insane. Knowles? I think so.
Yeah, Knowles is a fantastic coordinator. That defense is, you're right, it's insane. It's Michigan's last year. The only difference between these 2 teams, Michigan had a better offensive line last year. They were just really good in the trenches, like all the way around. Ohio State's offensive line isn't as good, but they have 2 absolute studs at wide receiver. Emeka Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, true freshman sensation. Guy's going to be the next, like, Megatron, Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss, like, prospect.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be up there. But they know their identity. They know what they are. Like, they're going to run the ball with their 2 good running backs. Basically, Ohio State is they're gonna suffocate Oregon. Oregon hasn't really played the way that we thought they were going to play.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, like, Dylan Gabriel hasn't looked as good. I think they know what they want to do, and they brought him in to be efficient. Like, they didn't want him to be explosive. They wanted to control the clock, get down the field, and win the game with possession and also the turnover battle.
Like, that's what I feel like expecting. Their defense hasn't been good enough to play that style of football, though.
Isn't that kind of weird, too? I know they lost some guys, but for Dan Lanning, like, we know him as a defensive coach. Like, it's kind of weird that their defense, I mean, it's not like they've been terrible. They haven't been, but they've given up a lot of yards. Like, it feels weird. Now, they played good against Michigan State. They only gave up 250 yards.
It does feel like the defense is in a rebuilding era, though. Like, it's what it feels like it is.
Well, is Oregon's defense bad, or is it that they had to play an Idaho coach who threw the kitchen sink at them? Ashton Jeanty. Because their defense has gotten better since. Like, it's like they had to play Ashton Jeanty and then a fiery Idaho coach who I fucking love. That guy's awesome. Yeah. Here's how it should go. My brain is telling me Ohio State's going to go out there. They're going to prove that they're like Oregon has a playoff caliber team. Ohio State has a national championship like they have a national championship team.
Yeah.
Like, they have one of the best rosters in college football. Is this like maybe Oregon hasn't played their best football and they're going to throw it all out there on the field against Ohio State in Eugene? It's like you said, like Dylan Gabriel puts on his Superman cape. Des Johnson and Evan Stewart. Maybe we underrated Oklahoma's wide receiver core last year, because we looked at this wide receiver core and this offense, and we thought, oh yeah, Dylan Gabriel's situation is going to be just as good.
Yeah.
Maybe we underrated Drake Stoops and Nick Anderson and Jalil Farouk and all them, because he was a lot more explosive and he just played better as a quarterback last year. He made more explosive plays. But this defense is not going to allow explosive plays. Like, they're going to have to be able to run the ball. Dylan Gabriel's going to have to run the ball. There is that possibility that Oregon just hasn't played their best ball.
Very true. I think a big part of Dylan Gabriel's success, though, is just him and Jeff Lebby, I think, clicked so well together.
He knew that offense up until, like, that was his offense. He liked that style of offense. Spread, get the ball to your playmakers, explosive plays, run the rock, pound the rock. Like, he knew Jeff Lebby's scheme.
Yep.
I also, it's obvious Dylan Gabriel's a much better quarterback than Will Howard.
Yes.
Just in my opinion.
Yes.
He is. They win the quarterback battle. 100% win the quarterback battle, but Ohio State just kind of has it everywhere.
I was going to say, they win the quarterback.
It's either going to be Oregon hasn't played their best ball, they throw everything out there, and they end up winning the game, or Ohio State just wins very comfortably. Like, it's what's the spread? 3? I think
3.
Ohio State wins by 12, 13.
Yeah. And I think it'd be another thing where they kind of just pull away late. I think they just kind of lean on him, and finally it just breaks.
Yep. But I hope Dylan Gabriel wins up. I really do.
I do too. I'd love to see it. But like you, I'm all for chaos. So I want as much crazy shit to happen as possible.
I want Dylan Gabriel to win. But Ryan Day is kind of really fucking good when he's not facing Jim Harbaugh. Like, what's his record? Like,
perfect.
40-0. Yeah. Like, he's such a good coach when he's not going up against Michigan. And that's going to change this year. So.
Yeah. But I think the only thing that we really wanted to touch on, it's not even a game. It's just a guy, dude. And it's not even a guy. He's just him. Ashton Jeanty has been, I think, the star child for college football this year. And you said it, and you've said it, and you've been on the path that you think Ashton Jeanty was an NFL-ready caliber back before the season started. You thought he was the number 1 back in the country by far.
Well, okay. First game. I watched the first game. It wasn't.
I guess the first game. Same difference.
Yeah.
I mean, hey man, I'm trying to
well, I
a little sunshine pump, bro.
I just saw that first game and I was like, yeah, he's already better than Quinshon Judkins, all those guys that were highly touted.
But man, he has been. What's the stat? I mean, obviously he leads the country in rushing yards and touchdowns. But isn't he like 6th after contact or some shit in the country?
He's 2nd after contact.
Well, I thought he was 2nd after contact in his conference, but 6th after in the country.
Oh, okay. In the country, yeah, you're right.
Still,
yeah, no, he's a stud, and they've
either
been
way.
sitting him. Do you agree with them? Like when they're blowing out these teams, like they just sit him. Like, is it because you want him to win the Heisman, right? It's like it's either him or Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind either of those two winning it, but like, what the fuck is Boise State? What are they other than Ashton Jeanty? Like, who other players can you name? Like, I guess Maddox,
Yeah.
Madison.
Yeah.
Maybe Cameron Camper. Like,
he
is the heart and soul of the team. Like, you are not a playoff caliber team. You're gonna win. You're probably gonna play in a bowl game, but like, you have the chance, like in your small conference in the Mountain West, to have a Heisman winner. Like, you're gonna have a Heisman winner. They're probably thinking like, hey, this guy's probably going to be an NFL draft pick. Like, there's a good chance he's going to be a starting NFL running back with what he can do. And he proved it against Oregon in that talent. But
wait, here's the thing. Either way, he finishes the season in New York.
Yeah.
Easily. And I think
he's got 1,000 yards and he's 5 or 6 games in.
Yeah. 5 games in. It's so crazy. It's just absolutely insane. They're ranked ahead of you, by the way. But anyways, man, I'm so excited to keep watching Boise State.
I would only rank Boise State ahead of OU because of Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, no, exactly. And at this point, it feels like the race for the 12th spot in the playoffs is between Army, Navy, Liberty, Memphis, and Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
Have you seen the photos of him just like standing like Michael Myers in the backfield?
Yeah.
And then the insane stats that are coming out of this, like him against a fully loaded box, an 8-man box, he's averaging 8.9 yards per carry. And when he's contacted or there's a block disruption in the backfield, he's averaging 10 plus yards per carry.
Guy's a stud, man.
He's got 16 touchdowns in 5 football games. And over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, Boise State too. Also credit their offensive line. I mean,
yeah, obviously. It's not all on him, but sometimes it is all on him.
It's like 95% him.
Yeah. Like that play against Washington State. Wasn't it crazy? I don't know if you saw like EA Sports when they showed something for Boise State before the game dropped. They showed him hurdling someone for Washington State, and then he went out and did it in real life.
Just insane.
I love Ashton Jeanty so much. So much. But
one last thing I want to ask you. If things don't go well for Seth Luttrell in Oklahoma, should we start making a phone call to UNLV and maybe trying to get their offensive coordinator?
Did you see how many points they had at halftime today?
Insane.
They had 41 points at halftime.
Insane. And they scored 41 against Syracuse. They lost the game. But I mean,
yeah, that's wild.
It's crazy. They're averaging. Pull up I want to do the average real quick. Pull up their wins real quick. I want to.
Also, real quick, Spencer Petras has almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's definitely Iowa's definitely the problem on offense. Okay, yeah. Are you ready for their point totals?
Go ahead.
27, 72, 23, 59, 44, and so far they have 47 tonight. And that's their 6th game.
Wait, one more time.
27, 72.
27 plus 72. 27 plus 72.
23, 59, 41, and so far tonight they have 47.
Divided by 6. What the fuck is wrong with my calculator? That is not right.
Hold on, let me look at it.
No, my calculator's being dumb. I'm
A-level podcasting here, folks.
I'm clicking the divided by sign. I'm not clicking multiply. It's saying 200 points per game. That is not correct. My iPhone calculator is not working. I apologize, folks.
44.8 points per game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Almost 50 points a game.
Is my iPhone like?
And that's against 3. Your iPhone wasn't made in Asia. It was made.
No, it was not. It was made by fucking
some tech kid in fucking California.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, against 3 Power 4 schools in Houston, Kansas, and Syracuse. Now it's Houston, Kansas, and Syracuse. Syracuse is a pretty good football team this year, though.
Houston fucking blew out. Who do they fucking go up against? This is awesome podcasting.
Yeah, we're fantastic at what we do, can't you tell?
Yeah, they beat the shit out of TCU. So
yeah,
they're 2-4, but they're gonna find something with
Northwestern ran away from Maryland 37.
And they're gonna beat Kansas too.
Yeah, well, who won't beat Kansas at this point? They're back to beat Kansas.
I think that's it for college football, man.
I think so. Do you want to take it away with? You're gonna be starting with your Bears.
Yeah,
your Bears.
So college football has an awesome slate. I like a lot of these games, and I think even some of the ones that are going to look stinky have gotten interesting now, in my opinion. There's stuff that's going on that have made it so much more interesting. So, we'll start off with the London game. Jaguars Bears. It's going to suck waking up at fucking 8:30 to watch this game.
Especially after.
I'm gonna have to wake up actually at 8 and watch it, so I'm gonna be like hammered, like hungover, waking up, watching the game. Jaguars got their first win against the Colts, right?
Yeah.
I think the Bears are going to win this game.
Yeah.
I think the Bears are going to win this game. I think you're riding high. I mean, you're happy if you're the Jaguars. I saw a stat, and it was like teams that are going into the next week after getting their first win after 4 or 5 games. I think straight up we're like 35 and 84. God, or something like that. It was like 35%. So I guess there is kind of like a correlation between like you get the high of like you can finally like decompress after you finally get your first win, right? You can decompress, like there's not as much like tension and must win.
Mm-hmm.
And well, of course, like the Bears defense just still really good.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to give Trevor Lawrence fits. That's really all I have. I think Chicago's going to win this game, but it is London. And the Jaguars, they usually leave, they played a lot of London games, and they usually leave at like on Thursday because of everything that ended up happening. Yeah. Or they usually leave a lot earlier, but they had to leave on yesterday, I think. So they left much later than what they had to. So they're going to be limited time on rest, probably jet lagged a little bit. Yeah, I think the Bears win this game. I'm also just riding high. Like when you have a quarterback that you believe in and you have an offense that you believe in, it feels so much better. I know, I get it with you being a Packers fan.
I have actually been thoroughly surprised by the Bears.
Well, they did it right.
As far as I'll go with that. I think they're going to win.
I think they did it right. You see the difference between Caleb Williams and all the past quarterbacks. Jay Cutler was the last good quarterback that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And so Caleb Williams, he's getting better. And the run game, they're figuring it out now. It's also very weird that Tevin Jenkins not playing, and Bill Murray's just been the best offensive lineman that we've had at guard. So, God, the center is still terrible, though. Good night. We need to figure that out. That's really all I have for that game. I didn't get to see any funny Doug Peterson. I was looking to see if Doug Peterson had said anything, but no. Also, it's kind of funny. People take what DJ. Also, DJ Moore. We've had questions about him and his motives to the team and how he's feeling. The vibes felt so low with him. Yeah. There was a photo that went around after the game last week when we slammed the Commanders. He had that second touchdown, that badass throw by Caleb. He celebrated with his team, and then he was just kind of sitting on the sideline by himself. He's just kind of one of those loners. He's just locked in, I don't think it's bad vibes he's just kind of one of those, like, he likes to, like, he's in full command. Like, he likes to be alone. Like, he's just kind of one of those loners, you know? So,
For sure.
And he had the
I
quote.
think Chicago wins this game. I do agree.
Also saw the quote. They were asking basically DJ Moore about, like, Caleb Williams' leadership, and he was like, yeah, he's been kind of, like, bossy lately. I thought that was funny. He was like, yeah, like, he's starting to demand more. Like, he's, you know, telling us, like, hey, we need to be doing this. He's demanding a lot more. And, yeah, I kind of like that for my quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very good sign, in my opinion.
We need to really start focusing on Latasha's texting me. Yeah, I love Caleb Williams. See, that motherfucker can talk, paint his nails. He can wrap his dick in rainbow fruit roll-ups and jack off to the Wizard of Oz 3 times a day. I don't care. Dude's great quarterback.
Twice a day? It's not worrisome about twice a day? I'd be a little worried about twice a week. But okay. Anyways. I think it's a very specific scenario. I feel like you know something.
There was also the video that was going around. They were asking NFL players like who their celebrity crush was, or like growing up, and everybody was like Megan Fox, Transformers, and Caleb Williams is like, my girlfriend is the only girl that I think about.
Oh, Jesus!
I saw a funny Instagram or Twitter comment that was like he really wanted to say Transformers Shia LaBeouf.
yeah.
That's fucked up. Quit talking about my quarterback like that.
Hey man, it's true though. But anyways,
London game. Yeah, so I like the Bears in this game. You like the Bears in this game?
I agree.
Yeah. It's crazy that they're only -1. Like, they're giving a lot of credit to the Jaguars for going up against a really beat up and not good Colts defense. So.
Yeah.
Next game, Packers-Cardinals in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Before I turn it over to you, because I know you want to talk about the game, I've flip-flopped back and forth like so much on this game because I thought like Packers defenses like they got a couple of key pieces on defense. Like David McKinney's playing really well. It's at home. Cardinals have to travel. Just had a big win. Packers, like in my mind, I'm thinking to myself like, I think this is where Jordan Love doesn't go full Will Levis. I think he's not gonna make another bad play like that. He's probably thinking hey, this is a must win, just because of how the division's going right now. I think the Packers they're probably thinking that they're game planning because Cardinals maybe don't have the best defense in the NFL, but they're still feisty defense. Jonathan Gannon still has a good scheme. I think Jordan Love is kind of wiping the rust off a little bit because he's still playing good. I think this is the game we're going to see Jordan Love basically show I'm still a top quarterback in the NFL. Hey, I got fucking hurt. So, and also I thought to myself, well, no, I'm starting to like the Cardinals more. Big win, comeback win against the 49ers. The team's probably going to be riding high after watching that game last night. The 49ers just dumped on the Seahawks. Seahawks tried to come back late, but Geno Smith kind of reverted back to old Geno Smith. He had his moments where he reverted back to old Geno Smith. But statement win, that final touchdown drive for the 49ers was impressive. I mean, 76-yard run. Yeah. And it was you probably shouldn't have slid. You probably should have scored. I thought they should have scored. It's hey, just put the game away. They're not going to be able to come back if you score again. And then they just handed it on a fullback dive to Juszczyk.
Yeah,
awesome.
I know.
I thought that was badass. But they're probably looking at the game being hey, we just beat that team. We can beat this Packers team. I flip-flopped too much. So I think my final verdict is I like the Packers to win this game. I think Jordan Love is going to play better. I said last week on the recap, or I think it was Monday, I said on the recap that Romeo Doubs, what's going on with him? I was oh, it sounds like a bad teammate. It sounded I don't know, stuff's going on. He's missed a couple practices, which I thought was badass that he didn't have any ramifications for it. It was he missed a couple practices, and I thought to myself, I wish I could do that at my job. That'd be sick. You just skip work and just go outside, smoke some stogies, or do whatever you want. He's probably that kid that skips class to go. It reminds me of the kid that skips science class to go smoke weed in the back.
Reminds me of the kids in my school that would skip class to go play basketball and PE.
Yeah, but I guess is he dealing with some mental health stuff because apparently the team had to talk to him and consult him. Like I thought I saw something.
I don't know if there was some of that. All the reports that were coming out was he was frustrated with his role in the offense. Apparently,
I
Amon-Ra
highly
St.
doubt that
Brown.
though.
I know
Because
he's second in targets.
Well, yeah, he's still the best receiver on the team. Like in terms of like just all around. Like there's got to be some stuff like mental health wise that he's dealing with.
I think there's more to the story. There's certainly more to the story than what we've got. But I think everything's fine at this point. I think everything's fine. He's back with the team. He's playing. He's practicing. He's good. I think it's fine. I don't think it's anything that we really need to worry about.
Is he only suspended for one game or?
Yeah. So essentially, what it was is
two different things. I keep seeing he's suspended for one game, he's suspended for 2 games, and I see no, he's only suspended for a half. I've seen like everything. I just
LaFleur said he's starting. He said in his press conference yesterday he's starting. He's playing. So
now I feel more confident in because there is like something about it, like whenever a player goes through mental health stuff, and then when that publicly comes out and like they're basically saying like that they're dealing with some stuff, like they end up having a breakout game. It's like kind of like Romeo Dobbs to score a touchdown and have like 9 yards. Well, David Montgomery, like he came out and said something, you know, like, hey, I was on the path of like thinking suicidal thoughts, and then he ends up being premier running back in the NFL. You know, you get the stuff with there's been a lot of other players that's happened with.
Like DK and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of it.
Yeah, DK Dak, after losing his brother and his mom, ends up being like a stud.
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah, no, so I
now feel more comfortable about my Packers pick. I think they're going to win the game. I think it's going to be close, though.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be very close. I think the Cardinals have been improving. I still don't think they're that great of a football team, and Kyler's kind of been willing them to the 2 wins that they have, but I think they're going to keep it close.
Are you nervous at all about, like, I guess, because, you know, Kyler can be explosive, and I think I'm starting to trust the Packers defense a little bit more, which I don't like that I'm saying that. But I'm starting to see there's a big difference in last year, like where they were just missing assignments and missing a bunch of stuff. Like it feels like Xavier McKinney kind of knows what he's doing. That's why he's getting these interceptions. He's making plays when necessarily they might not be there. There is that component that like if Jair is not covering Marvin Harrison on a play, could be an explosive play if Xavier McKinney decides to get greedy.
Yeah, they're gonna have to shade a safety over because Stokes hasn't been too great. Keyshawn Nixon's been okay in the slot.
That pick never made sense.
Quay Walker has looked very bad. I think Edgerrin Cooper has to play a lot. But at the end of the day, you're right on Jordan Love. He started. He's shaking the rust off.
Fantastic draft for the Cardinals or for the Packers too. Edgerrin Cooper. Yeah, the fact that y'all got him when y'all did,
so
he's an absolute stud. He's a stud of Texas A&M.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quay Walker stinks, dude. You gotta get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm done with it. Jordan Love is shaking the rust off. He's looked bad in the first half, last couple of games. He looks worse in the first half, I should say. That fuck it, Jaden Reed's down there somewhere was pretty fantastic. That ball with 3 Rams DBs on him was just awesome. But I think we're going to get a complete game from Jordan Love. I don't think we're going to get any bonehead stuff. I think the running game is going to continue to exceed. I think we're going to do great. They keep mixing in Edub and Josh Jacobs. I think it's going to be fine. I think Packers are going to win, but that's going to be another close game. So that's really my thoughts on it.
So do you like the Packers to win? Do you like the Packers to win comfortably, or do you think it's going to be like pretty close, like by a field goal?
We'll talk about it in the dick pics.
Okay, gotcha. Next game. Commanders, Ravens. So 2 quarterbacks with the same playing style. Saw a bunch of pardon my take, and then I saw somebody else talk about this. Basically, could be the passing of the torch, which is, I get a satire, but
yeah.
So the Commanders have kind of exceeded everybody's expectations this season. You knew Jaden Daniels was going to be good. You just didn't think he was going to be this good.
Yeah.
He's won Rookie of the Week like 4 out of the last 5. He's been really good, and Commanders fans are probably thinking to themselves, everything that they've been bottling in and waiting to play like a big time team. You know, like the Ravens. They've already played and beat the Bengals, but look at the Bengals now. So now, like, if you beat the Ravens, you're thinking, yeah, this is deep playoff run. You might even be thinking Super Bowl. You're like, hey, Jay Daniels will be the first rookie to do it.
I wouldn't go that far.
You don't understand fandom then. When you
I mean, I do. But...
Come on. You got to really think about it. We're not Commanders fans, so we know, like, we're completely thinking different, but this is going to be one of those like Washington is riding high. I know a lot of Washington Commanders fans probably thinking to themselves, this is a game that we can all fall apart.
Yeah, that is true.
Because this is a pretty good, which I'll say this, Ravens secondary, other than Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey, has been very suspect.
Yeah.
Or is it Joe Burrow is just playing phenomenal football because he has to? Like, it's one of those, like, they were getting torched by Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
I think we'll find out on Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like this matchup now. This game is a lot more exciting because Jaden Daniels and the team have been
it's going to be so fun.
The only thing another thing that scares me is, like, they've been very good, and Jaden Daniels has been able to do, and Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels have been able to score a bunch of points, not have to punt the ball a lot because they've been able to run the ball very efficiently, and the Ravens' run defense is really fucking good. And that's another thing that, like, it could all fall apart if the Ravens stop the run and they contain Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? How are you going to contain Lamar Jackson? Also, Lamar Jackson has won 2 MVPs. This is his best start since he's been in the NFL.
Yeah.
Kind of insane. Like, he's been very incredible.
Very insane.
How are they going to contain their edge rushers aren't great?
I don't know. This is going to be a high scoring football game.
Think so?
Yeah.
Like, just back and forth?
Easy.
Todd Monken is still the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, right?
I have no idea.
Am I making that up? Because he was the offensive coordinator at Georgia, and then he came to the Ravens.
I think so. That feels right.
Yeah, it's Todd Monken.
Yeah.
He's going to dial some stuff up. He's going to be able to. But it's also Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Got some players. I mean, even though they're not great, like, he knows how to scheme things up. I agree with you. High scoring game. Want to go to the next game?
Yeah.
Texans Patriots. I looked at this at first.
You said what?
You said Texans win easy?
Yeah.
I looked at this game and I thought, I don't really give a fuck about this game. But then the breaking news happened. Mayday. We're gonna get Drake May. I'm a lot more interested in this game now.
I'm interested in it, but I still don't think it's close.
Patriots fans fucking blow, dude. Patriots fans were like, they've been so used to success, like, they don't understand. Well, I guess you probably don't understand as much either, but, like, someone who has gone through, like, quarterback shuffles, like, having a new quarterback and, like, a rookie quarterback that you draft in the first round and, like, hey, get the kid out there, like, that's exciting. That's like, that's something to root for, especially when your team's not very good. Like, you've had Jacoby Brissett, efficient quarterback. Here's what Jacoby Brissett's really good at doing: playing a couple of good games, and he's also good at, like, taking hits. Drake May is better at playing quarterback.
Jacoby Brissett's better at being consistently out there for the team.
And then he'll have a couple of clunkers where you're like, well, this is why he's not a starter for long.
Yeah, exactly.
The offensive line is going to be an issue, I guess, for the Patriots, but it's still an interesting game with Drake May out there. Like, I am going to be interested in this game now that it's Mayday.
Yeah.
So
Texans still win and cover, in my opinion.
Texans haven't been as dominant as I thought they'd be. It's kind of like the Ravens last year, where it's like, when are they going to have, like, a win that just separates them? I guess the Bears, rookie Caleb Williams with a bad offensive line and scheme that had been yet.
The way it looked last week, you would have thought it was going to be last week, but the Bills just came back and then killed themselves in that one. So,
well, here's another thing to look out for. You say that this is going to be an easy win for the Texans, and they cover. Nico Collins hurt, probably going to be out for a few weeks. And when the hear me out, because when the Texans have needed a big play, when their offense is stalling and they haven't been able to move the ball, their go-to guy has been Nico Collins. Like, he has been the big play threat. Like, when you need somebody. Tank Dell got shot, and we don't know. Like, he hasn't really been a factor this season. He's kind of dropped some balls. Stephon Diggs is there. Like, he's still a really good wide receiver, and he's going to have to come up big. Is Joe Mixon back? If not, I don't really know what the run game is going to look like. I don't know. I don't think it's as easy as it looks on paper with Nico Collins being out. Like, they're going to have to rely on another. Like,
it's also going to be a rain game.
Yeah.
So maybe I was a bit too quick to jump, but do we
trust who would you rather have running the rock in a rain game, or Ramondre Stevenson or Cam Akers at this point?
Ramondre Stevenson's had some fumble issues.
And so is Cam Akers.
Yeah, they've both had the.
They benched him, and then Ramondre stopped fumbling.
Yeah.
And then they also have Antonio Gibson, who I really like. Antonio Gibson, I like their running.
He's their leading rusher.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah. I still like the Texans in this one. Yeah. With the weather, especially Drake May's first start in the weather, I just think the Texans are going to walk away with this one.
Okay. Next game, and I kind of agree with you on that. I like throwing out, like, hey, Drake May, there's this, Nico Collins out. Like, it could be. It's
gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be one that you're waiting for Hanson to skip back to on Red Zone.
Yeah, for Drake May. Because it's like, what do we have in the guy? You know, like, do the Patriots? If they found another Brady? Probably not. There's not gonna be another Brady. Next game, Saints-Bucks. Spencer Rattler's getting
Spence versus Baker. Man, I'm excited for this one. Look, there's always been a soft spot in my heart for Spencer Rattler. I'm excited to see him start, man. I'm really excited to see him give it a go.
Yeah. Do you think what is it going to take for him to become the full-time starter over Derek Carr? Like, is he going to have to win this game? And
I don't think he's going to have to win. I think the offense is going to have to look very efficient.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have to come out there and show the ability to play within the offense, show the efficiency, show flashes of why he was the 5-star quarterback that he was.
This is why this slate is like this college football and NFL weekend have got, like, college football. It looked like they were going to blow the NFL out of the water in terms of, like, the games and the slate and how great, like, how awesome it could be. And then some stuff started happening. Now we get Spencer Rattler, Drake May. Like, I'm actually very interested in this game.
Anthony Richardson's back.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, that'll actually be the next game. But I don't know, man. I still like the Bucks. I like the Bucks to win and probably cover -3. But I kind of want to see Spencer Rattler play well. I kind of want to see what this offense can look like.
I do.
They're explosive with Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara's looking like his old self. Their offensive line still has issues. I mean, they're still without their center and right guard. Ruiz was out last week. Yeah. They're gonna have to get a win. Like, it almost feels like it's more of a can't lose for the Saints, I guess.
Yeah.
What would we consider a can't lose? Like, they lose by, like, they cover like +3, and they score. The final score is like 31-29, something weird.
I would consider that a win. No, I don't think they have to win. I mean, you don't want to fall to 2-4, but with the rookie quarterback, I think you're just going out there to see if your team still has life.
Yeah, I know, because they were awesome the first 2 games. They looked unstoppable and the best team, and then they went back to Dennis Allen Saints.
Yeah, so you're just looking to keep this train rolling. That's all you're really looking for.
I had an inquiry today at work. The inquiry, I don't know if it was fake or not, but the name on the inquiry was Dennis Allen. the head coach, Dennis Allen, and the city and state was Tallahassee, Florida. Early signs. Are we going to see
a
new head coach for Florida State?
Maybe.
Dennis Allen Saints teams are just boring. Like what does he do that's interesting? Other than like the Jameis Winston handing it off to Jamal Williams in that final game, that was funny. But he didn't plan for it.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I like a veteran Bucs team versus a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
We good on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Titans Colts. Let me ask you a question. I think it's clear that the better quarterback for the Colts is Joe Flacco. Like if you had to say ask all right, who's the better quarterback who can go out there and win you football games? It's Joe Flacco, right?
Yep.
But you have to start Anthony Richardson, right? Like
yeah, he's healthy. You have to.
Right? Like you have to know if he's the future.
Yeah, if he's healthy, you have to play him.
Okay, thank you, because I thought so too. A lot of people probably look at it and go, no, Joe Flacco. And it's like, no, Joe Flacco is elite. Absolutely. It made more sense to continue playing him in Cleveland because Sean Watson's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And, they were a playoff team. Like, they were a team that could complete and win. Like, they were closer to the Super Bowl than this Colts team is, right?
Yes.
So you have to play Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, you have to. And
their defense hasn't been great. And you need to see strides with them.
It's absolute shit.
Yeah, they've been beat to absolute shit. They're down a ton of dudes. And their offense is going to have to win them the game. But with what we've seen of Anthony Richardson and what we know of him at Florida, he just hasn't had that breakout game for me yet. Yeah. He did last season. He had a good game against was it the Jaguars? One of the first games of the season, it was okay, this guy, maybe they were onto something, but I don't know. He gets hurt too much.
Yeah, he tries to be so physical. He's he wants to be Cam Newton, but I don't think he has the physicality that Cam had and the longevity that Cam Newton had.
Yeah. Oh, Cam Newton was incredible. That guy, incredible quarterback, won an MVP. Cam Newton's probably one of the more underrated quarterbacks of all time, for sure. But Anthony Richardson, you have to play him. You have to see.
Easy.
Joe Flacco, look what he's doing with that offense. Anthony Richardson should be able to do the same.
Yep.
So, and the offensive line's playing better. Is Jonathan Taylor going to be back? I don't know. Have we seen anything?
I don't think so.
Have you checked fantasy?
Let me look. He's on my fantasy team. Let me check. I think he's still out.
I have a sneaky pick for this one.
What's that?
I love the Titans in this game.
Yeah.
I've been doing this all season where that's dumb for me to pick the Titans because I keep forgetting that Brian Callahan's their head coach and not Mike Vrabel. If Mike Vrabel was the head coach of this team, they would not be as bad as they are. I think Will Levis is going to have a get-right game. I think Will Levis is going to have a big game against this bad defense. I think he saw what Mason Rudolph did, and that should have lit a fire under his ass, right?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make
Ramondre Stevenson isn't playing. Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Okay, well, they still have Antonio Gibson, so.
Yeah, no, they should be fine. Sorry, I'm checking fantasy.
You said something. Anyways, yeah. I think Will Levis is probably watching that game last week and thought, yeah, Mason Rudolph's probably going to take my job. I actually don't think he's going to make any mistakes this game. I think he's going to play a much cleaner football game. And I think the Titans are going to win. The Titans feel like the team that has been, they drank the poison by accident, right?
Yeah.
They're much better than what their record shows. I feel like they are, in the trenches. They did good in their draft. J.C. Latham, the offensive lineman, has looked really good. Devondre Sweat's been really good. The acquisition of L'Jarius Sneed, they've got 2 lockdown corners. They've got the guys to be successful. And their running backs, Tony Pollard's been really good. I think this is the get-right game and a must-win for the Titans. The Titans, they've got win this game. You beat Miami last week. You got to carry that momentum. And Will Levis has to play a clean game, and he's got to be good. And I think he will be. So I like the Titans in this game.
I agree. And Jonathan Taylor is out.
Okay. So
Trey Sermon's going to start.
Who's just, Boomer Sooner, I like Trey Sermon. He's not anywhere near the caliber that Jonathan Taylor is.
No, not even close.
Not a lot of running backs are. Like maybe Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, no. But I agree. I do like the Titans in this game as well.
Okay. Next game.
Did you say DeAndre Swift?
Yeah.
Remember 2 weeks ago when you wanted him to die? Remember that?
Yeah, and ever since then he heard me, obviously.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's been playing a lot better now.
Browns, Eagles. Browns feel dead. Eagles also don't really feel that good. What's happened to Philly sports, man?
So let's throw this out there real quick. Yeah, Philly sports is bad vibes. I guarantee you, the first 3 and out, if they on their first drive they go 3 and out, they're gonna get booed.
They're gonna burn the fucking Lincoln Financial down.
No, I think they're gonna boo him. I really do think they're gonna be like strap job, you fucking strap job. And
it's gonna be very Italian.
No, not Philly. Philly's like they're scumbag, ruthless. There's kind of like a cleaner execution of Italians, you know.
Fair enough.
They're much more classy. They wear suits. They slick their hair back. You know, it's mob, not fucking Philly. You know, scumbag. Guy walks across the street, sees a girl walking, spits on her, and runs away. You know.
Fair enough.
That's the Philly. That's the Philly fans we all know and love. Here, I'll say this: Lane Johnson's back, Devontae Smith's back, AJ Brown's back.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know for this game, in my opinion.
Bad vibes though for Philly. Bad vibes for Philly sports fans. Philly sports fans have gone through hell.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go. There's a 24-month span. I saw a tweet in the 24-month span in 2022 for the all bad vibes in the 24-month span. 2022, Phillies blow a 2-1 lead in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
In 2023, the Eagles blow the second half lead in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, end up losing in the Super Bowl. The Sixers blow Game 6 and Game 7 to the Celtics. Then the Phillies blow Game 6 and Game 7 in the NLCS game. That was to the Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Eagles implode and just become an absolute dumpster fire after a 10-1 start. That was 2023. 2024, the Sixers lose to the Knicks in the first round. And then the Phillies get basically trounced by the Mets in the NLDS. And this happened just this past week. So, all-time bad vibes. And Philly sports fans are probably watching this game, and if they don't absolutely blow out, bend the Browns over, and just mutilate them, like if it's not like 35-3, I'm pretty sure there's going to be boos in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
100%,
Philly sports fans are done, dude.
The windows, it's closed. Like it feels like for all their teams. I still believe in Vic Fangio. I think he'll get the defense right, but remember what I said last week: Javon Dexter versus Jalen Carter. Stats don't lie. They don't have any edge rushers. Jalen Carter can't really do it by himself. You know, Javon Dexter, he's kind of getting double teamed on some plays. Andrew Billings is kind of like the Akeem Hicks for this defense for the Bears this season, by the way. He can't go unnoticed. That guy is a train wreck in the middle sometimes. When we get Zach Pickens back, that's another 6'4", 320-pounder that's going to go in there too. But anyways, Philly. I do like the Eagles in this game. Did you see the recent Deshaun Watson? I guess the media were asking him about like the benching, because that conversation is going on about, should they bench Deshaun Watson? I did not
see that.
Basically, when they were asking him about it, he said, "I don't hear none of that. I don't see it. I'm not on social media or anything like that. So anytime that stuff comes up, the only time I hear it is when guys, when you guys bring it up or someone else outside the building brings it up. I just don't have any idea where this is coming from." Everywhere, dude. I don't know. Your fans probably are saying it.
He has
There's
the
no way he
worst.
goes to the sideline.
He has the worst, like, just self-awareness. It's funny when he's like on get on social media. Like a week ago, he posted about his birthday.
I don't know, dude. Like he's done. Is this Deshaun Watson? Like, did the Browns do this to him? Like, is it like it's because he's a Brown?
No. This
because he was good in the Texans, and it almost felt like he had no. I mean, the allegations started right before he got traded to the Browns.
Yeah, when you take a year off of football, a year and a half off football, and then you get suspended another half season. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not just the Browns. The Browns haven't helped, but
yeah. Do you think the aura of the Browns were following him when all this happened? Like the
probably.
aura was coming in.
Probably.
Like 2020.
Yes.
2019. It was like the Browns, like the Cleveland Browns aura was just feasting and manifesting upon him.
Yes, 100%.
It is crazy how just terrible that franchise is.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a player that got on a social media post and he commented on Instagram, and he was like, "As a former player of the Browns for 7 years, yes, the coaches have no say in any of the decisions. It's all like the top level guys, like the who owns the fucking Browns? I can't think of their name.
Who owns the Browns?
Yeah, who the
Haslam family.
Yeah, the Haslam. It's the Haslams. It's upper management. It's Andrew Berry. All them. Like the coaches have no say. Like it's all like the organization. So that's never good.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Organization has to trust.
That's been Dallas's problem forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why Dallas isn't a multi-time Super Bowl champion this millennium.
It was the Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M problem too.
Yep. It was the Alabama problem before Saban got there.
Yeah. Like Coach got in there and said, "No, this is my fucking team." Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it is.
So, yeah, the Browns. I mean, this is an all-time bad vibes game. I mean, the vibes are terrible for both teams.
Yeah, no, it's.
We'll be looking out for a Johnny Fanta video. I'll send it to you. If the Browns just get absolutely decimated, I'll send you the Johnny Fanta Twitter video. Sure. Like college basketball, March Madness, and the NBA analyst. He's awesome. He's funny as hell.
I'll be watching for it. Afternoon games.
Yeah, I think that's all I had. That's it. Yeah. So that's all you have. Do you have anything else on that game?
No.
That's it. Okay. Bad vibes game. Yeah, afternoon slate. Chargers Broncos. Much like the University of Oklahoma, the Chargers injury report basically looks like their depth chart.
Herbert's back.
Yeah, that's true. And Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt's back. This has been an ongoing problem with the Chargers since I can remember. Like since I've been watching, them. Like they're always hurt. Their medical staff, like I don't know, they're cursed. But
yeah.
But they're getting Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt back. And they're going to be playing a Broncos team that just came off pretty good win, like pretty convincing win against the Raiders.
Broncos at 3-2 feels wild, but considering the fact they played a not good Jets team, a not good Raiders team, and who else they beat? Somebody else shitty.
The Bucks.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, they beat the Bucks too. Let me ask you. Who are your like top 6 quarterbacks right now?
Top 6?
NFL?
Yeah. Pat, Lamar, Josh Allen, in no particular order. Pat, Lamar, Josh Allen, Jordan Love. Oh.
Maybe that Texans quarterback, maybe.
CJ Stroud and Justin Herbert.
Oh, you do have Justin Herbert in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering.
Hard not to put Daniels there because he's been so hot, but yeah, no. We'll go with.
Yeah, mine was number 1 was Caleb Williams, and then everybody else is just like kind of tiers below. But that's just my bias. That's my absolute bias. That's all that is. You can't trust mine. Yeah, Justin Herbert's kind of been forgot about lately.
Yeah,
it's not like he's played bad. It's just
that's
the Jim Harbaugh style. So people are kind of like, is Justin Herbert a franchise quarterback? It's like, yeah, he is. This is
I
Jim
left Joe
Harbaugh's.
Burrow out of that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I was like kind of surprised you did.
I like CJ Stroud a lot more, though. I really do. I love CJ
That's
Stroud.
crazy. Joe Burrow is definitely like top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I'm taking Pat, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Go look at the stats. Look what he's had to do this season. His defense is letting him down.
Yeah, they're 1-4 still.
Yeah, it's all on him. Even though he's scoring like 38 to 40 points a game. Yeah, it's all on him. There's no way that you're taking Jordan Love. I'm not taking Caleb Williams over Joe Burrow right now.
I'm taking Jordan Love over him.
All right, let's draft a team real quick. We're gonna get this off track. Okay, I'll start. My quarterback. I guess you can go ahead and take Jordan Love as your quarterback.
Well, if I'm drafting a team, I'm taking fucking Trent Williams, number 1 overall.
Who's your quarterback? You start first. Draft a quarterback.
If I'm drafting a team right now, I'm taking CJ Stroud as my quarterback. At his age and his upside. Okay.
Taking Joe Burrow.
Okay.
And then at wide receiver, I'm taking Jamar Chase.
Yeah, at wide receiver, I'd probably take Justin Jefferson.
I was going to take that one next. Damn.
Yeah.
This
is your second wide receiver.
My second wide receiver?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I really like Nico Collins, but he's hurt.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, so we're only doing players that are available? Okay.
No, I'll take Nico Collins.
Okay. I'm stuck between Terry McLaurin. If Mike Evans wasn't so old, it'd easily be him.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, Mike Evans is so fucking good.
Actually, I'm going to take Mike Evans. I'm going to take Jamar Chase and Mike Evans.
Jamar Chase and Mike Evans. Okay. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson, Jaden Reed.
Okay. My third wide receiver is Tyreek Hill.
My third is Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
No CeeDee Lamb taken, by the way. I just want to point that out. It's kind of wild, but
I really, really wanted to take CeeDee Lamb. I actually almost did.
I was
saving him for you. I'm just going to be completely honest.
You
know what? Fine. I'm taking Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
I actually forgot about CeeDee Lamb.
I kind of did too. I'm still taking Justin Jefferson, Jaden Reed, and Malik Neighbors.
My offense just scored 55 points. Yours probably scored 45.
Okay. Who's your running back?
My running back?
Yeah.
Fucking give me Christian McCaffrey.
I'm going to say, if you say DeAndre Swift, I'm hanging up right now. Christian McCaffrey? Yeah, that's kind of obvious.
This is an easy one.
Yeah.
There's an easy number 2.
I'd almost take Saquon or Jahmyr Gibbs. Probably Saquon.
This is going to sound crazy. I think I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Some of the runs that he makes, like when there's nothing there, like it's insane.
Yeah.
I need Joe Burrow. I'm massively defending Joe Burrow.
I love Joe Burrow. I see more. I can't not take Jordan Love. I think he's a fantastic fucking quarterback. He's just
not on the same level right now with Joe Burrow. Like it's going to take him at least another year.
I think Joe Burrow gets bailed out by Jamar Chase sometimes.
That's crazy that you think that. I don't think Jamar Chase. I think he would actually have the same stats with like another quarterback. I think he is that good of a wide receiver, but I mean, is he bailed out when he's throwing to T. Higgins too? T. Higgins is having to make crazy catches, or when he has to pass to his tight end, or when he's just, escaping pressure, like he's got a Houdini act in him.
I think he gets bailed out when Jamar Chase leads the league and has set the record for 70-yard touchdowns through the first 3 seasons.
A lot of them are deep balls too.
Yeah, but a lot of it is Jamar Chase doing stuff after the catch.
I mean, if you want, a guy throwing a pick six when he's in the end zone, I mean, that's fine.
They still won the game.
Yeah, that pick six was pretty egregious.
Yeah, they won the game.
He had a pretty bad interception against the Vikings too.
I don't shaking the rust off.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, way off topic. Justin Herbert gets kind of forgotten about.
He does.
I like the Chargers in this one.
I do too.
That's really all I had on this game.
Yeah, me too.
And that was our Chargers Broncos preview.
Yeah. Our Chargers Broncos preview was us drafting players that were not relevant to either fucking team.
Yeah. I would draft Justin Herbert too.
I'd take him. I'd like Javonte Williams as well.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this NFL right now.
Yeah. I still think.
I actually lied when I said I would take Joe Burrow. I'd take Caleb Williams any day of the week.
I still take CJ Stroud.
Yeah, that's how much I love Caleb Williams and how highly I think of him. I have high expectations. So he had a couple of throws that a lot of people were like, that's just a different throw. And I'm like, yeah, I expect him to do that. I don't want him to make that throw again because it's a hospital ball or it's him trying to play hero ball. But anyway,
you did all that just to try to prove to me that Joe Burrow was the answer, and you still end up taking Caleb Williams. That proves the case closed. But anyways, next game, Steelers-Raiders.
My second quarterback taken would be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, see, exactly. Steelers-Raiders. I don't know if the Raiders are a dumpster fire or not still. It kind of fucking feels that way. Oh, shit. There. No? Still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there we go. It completely froze on my side. The Raiders are just a dumpster fire, right? Yeah, I can hear you. The Raiders are just a dumpster fire, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, no.
Yes, I can hear you.
Aiden O'Connell. I'm saying Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell's getting a start.
He is getting a start?
Yeah. They announced that he's going to get the start, so he's going to provide the spark. And then what's going to end up happening is they're going to put Gardner Minshew out there because that's again, when we talked about this, Gardner Minshew, he's the spark. He's not the starter,
Exactly. I think if you want Gardner Minshew to be the best player in the NFL, I think you just have to bring him off the bench in the middle of the second quarter in every game.
I had notes on this game, damn it, and I lost them. I don't know where they went. Oh, yeah. Yes. Aiden O'Connell is starting. Do you think Tomlin would make the switch?
No.
To Russ?
No.
I also have another question for you.
What's up?
George Pickens? Question mark? George Pickens? Question mark? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see the film afterwards?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, he's not even trying. He's not trying. That just seems like such George Pickens too.
Yeah, that's the Raiders coming out and being like, we have players that are selling. They're making business decisions. That's what he's doing right now.
I mean, I don't know. I think if Russ goes out there, I think he wants to keep the vibes good, so I think he would force feed George Pickens. But for those that don't know, media availability through George Pickens, they basically asked him, like, how can you get more targets on the team? Or, like, what can you do to get more touches? And Pickens is basically like, nah, man, it's not on me. It's all on Arthur Smith. He really said, nah, it's not on me. It's on Artie.
Yeah.
So, seems like bad vibes. Knowing Mike Tomlin,
do you think Mike Tomlin gets that?
Do you think he benches him?
I don't think so.
Do you think he would? Do you think if it got far enough, do you think he would bench him?
Yes. Mike Tomlin's a no-nonsense type of guy.
Yeah.
I can see him doing it.
This has kind of happened with his receivers before, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Antonio Brown,
Martavis Bryant,
Juju.
Juju.
I don't know what ended up happening, but like his receivers, like Chase Claypool.
God, I saw the clip again the other day of Chase Claypool where he gets the first down in like no timeouts, the clock's going, and then they lose the game because of it. Oh man.
Yeah,
remember that like year stretch where everyone thought Chase Claypool was going to be the best receiver in the NFL?
He made some incredible catches though. Like it was crazy because they had Deontay Johnson, they had Juju Smith-Schuster, who were both like, it was like, yeah, the Steelers, they just do it different. They develop wide receivers. It's crazy, like that they're able to do what they do. And then Chase Claypool came out of nowhere as a second or third round pick, and it was like, okay, like the Steelers have the best wide receivers in the NFL. Like they have the best wide receiver trio. Big Ben is back. He's got his receivers now. And then I don't know. Like you watch George Pickens, like if you watch his highs on if you watch his highlights, it's incredible. It's like, oh my God, this guy was built in a wide receiver lab. And then he's got moments where it's like, I mean, he's not putting it out there for his team. Like he just doesn't look like he wants to be there.
His don't give a fuck meter is way too
at an all-time high.
Yeah, it's too much of a variable.
I'll tell you this, if he's not happy with Justin Fields right now, he's probably not going to be happy with Russell Wilson.
What makes you say that?
I mean, come
man.
on. You and I both know.
Yeah, no, I feel like Russell Wilson thinks he's like his dad, and he's just like trying to coach him up.
Or like the older brother.
Yeah. And he's like a shitty stepdad. That's just like Will Ferrell.
He's not the stepdad. He's the dad that stepped up.
Yeah, exactly. Will Ferrell in what fucking movie was that? Daddy's Home. That's exactly what Russell Wilson is.
You make a good point.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is. But anyways, I don't have much else in this game. I think the Steelers are going to win. I think they're just going to suffocate the Raiders. And
I like the Steelers in this one too. I'm interested to see what ends up happening though. Like
I am too.
There's just been some stuff that's been happening this week that it's crazy.
Football is the ultimate. It's the ultimate reality show.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Also, there is the possibility that Max Crosby absolutely destroys that right tackle and just gets Justin Fields in the backfield all day.
That is true.
So, next game, Lions and Cowboys. This game fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah.
This game is going to be awesome. Remember what happened last year?
Mm-hmm.
The Dan Campbell go for two, gets flagged, didn't count, still went for it.
I love Dan Campbell so much.
Yeah, dude, Dan Campbell.
It hurts my soul that he is the Lion.
Yeah, it does suck that he's Motor City Dan. But you love Dan Campbell, you're gonna love this. So they have a really good offensive line. Frank Ragnow, their center, right? So he has a pec injury.
Yep.
My buddy Arnold is a big Lions fan. He sent me this. Basically, Frank Ragnow having a pec injury. Dan Campbell, when they were asking him about it, he said Frank Ragnow having the pec injury, he was walking through, or he said, I was walking through the facility when out of nowhere someone pushes me up against the wall and punches me. Then I end up getting punched again. I realized that it was Frank, and it was Frank trying to show me that his pec was great. That was his way of basically being like, hey, look how strong I am. Like, I'm good to go. I kind of like that from Dan Campbell. That's how he measures his players, like how good they are to go. There's no like athletic training tests or doctors. It's basically like how hard can this guy punch me?
That's the best. He's got the best culture.
It's kind of funny too, because I guarantee you that he's probably thinking and said like, these guys probably think I'm a meathead, so like, like maybe he's outsmarting everybody like with science and stuff. He's like, no, this guy can just punch me hard. Like, yeah, he's definitely good to go.
Yeah. He's got the best culture in all the NFL, dude. It's the greatest.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. I think this, much like how we said with Ole Miss and LSU, like we want points galore. After the Bears Jags game, like if the Bears end up winning, I think that's going to end up being a lower scoring game. Like I need a high scoring game this weekend. Like
this game is over city.
This afternoon slate, this afternoon slate kind of blows.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's bad.
Like I think this afternoon slate blows. I need a really good fucking high scoring, like 60 points, like 60 or 70 points. Like
this needs to be the game where Scott Hansen's like, all right, we're running out of time here. Click over to your local providers. Like this game's going to be high scoring. Clock's going to keep stopping. It's going to be going into overtime. Like I need everything from this game. That's what I expect.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be the.
I also don't expect Dallas to be able to stop the run. But anyway, sorry.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I saw a stat, and it said the Cowboys currently rank. They're 23rd. So like the Lions run a lot of 12 personnel. That's their bread and butter. They 12 personnel a lot. They have tight ends that they trust. They got good running backs, great running backs at that, and they got wide receivers that block like hell. Even though they don't have Josh Reynolds anymore, Jameson Williams is trying out there. Like he's trying to block. But they run a lot of 12 personnel. It's their bread and butter. It's their identity. The Cowboys are 23rd against run plays. So their defense is 23rd against run plays out of 12 personnel. And then they rank dead last against play action out of 12 personnel. And a lot of it is because their defensive line's beat up.
It's crazy.
So Lawrence being out, DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons isn't out there. And then their other guy got hurt there, but their backup to Micah Parsons is hurt.
Yeah.
It's basically just Odighizuwa and Mozzie Smith.
Yeah. Their Cowboys have been beat to absolute shit. Yeah. This game, yeah, dude, I don't have a whole lot on this one. I'm just super excited to watch this game.
Oh, I got more. I saw this game and I immediately thought like high scoring, Dan Campbell. Then you had here's another one, Amon-Ra. Did you see the clip that was going around? Amon-Ra had the interview and they were asking who's your least favorite player to go against? Mm-hmm. And he was basically like Jordan Lewis. Like Jordan Lewis was talking crazy. I mean, he was saying some stuff I ain't never seen before. Well, then there was a follow-up to that. They were asking Jordan Lewis about it, like, hey, the Amon-Ra said this. Like, do you remember that? And basically, Jordan Lewis said, I honestly don't remember saying that. Sometimes I just black out and just go somewhere with it. But if I said anything disrespectful, I'd probably say it again.
Fuck yeah.
I like that. I like that, dude.
I love this
down. This game is going to be awesome.
It's going to be fantastic.
I think it's going to be another Dan Campbell hang your nuts on the table. You're in the red zone, you score a touchdown, you got to go for 2.
100%.
This could also look ugly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dak and CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to go off. I think the Lions defense is so much better this season, and they finally figured it out. Terrion Arnold versus CeeDee Lamb might be a tough matchup for Terrion Arnold. He's going to be good. He's going to be very good. But they're going to have to rely on Brian Branch. When he's not getting after the quarterback on rush plays and playing the box, they're going to have to rely on him to help Terrion Arnold. Because, again, CeeDee Lamb, top 3 receiver in the NFL. You can make an argument, best receiver in the NFL.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase are 1 and 2, and then CD.
No, I'd take CD over Jamar Chase.
Think so?
No, I won't.
I wouldn't.
Justin Jefferson because he's doing it with Sam Darnold. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know. He got this. Never mind. I don't think CeeDee Lamb is up there. Top 5 for sure.
There's so many good receivers in the league at this point. There's so many.
Yeah. But this game fucking and then Panthers. No, that's actually this is the last game of the afternoon slate. I don't have anything on this game. Yeah. Andy Dalton kind of reverted back to the Bears have just do this with quarterbacks or Matt Eberflus did this with Josh Dobbs last year for the Vikings. He had that crazy run when he came into they signed him and then he had this miracle run and the Bears just put him back to just being a shit quarterback.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with Andy this week.
Yeah.
So
I have nothing on this game. I expect the Falcons to win. So
yeah, I don't have anything on this game either. Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, Bengals should finally get something back. They should win.
You don't think you have nothing on? Are you just tired, or do you not?
I'm very tired, but I also really don't have a whole lot on this game. I just expect the Bengals to come out and thrash the Giants.
Have you not been watching the Giants? Like, have you not been watching Daniel Jones?
I saw what they did last week.
What he's been doing?
I don't.
Is Malik Davis back?
I don't
He
know.
had a concussion. He was at a concert too.
Let me see.
A lot of people were talking about that. I don't think anything of it. Let the guy go to a concert. Maybe a concert helps him out.
No, he's out. He's not playing. He's out.
Daniel Jones has been playing good, and Brian Daboll's been doing very well at putting him into success. Like, they figured out the trenches. Like, they had that big win against the Seahawks, and I think this is a much more interesting game than what you're making it out to be.
I think it's interesting, but I think the Bengals are just going to run away with it. This is finally a team.
You are right though. Like, I think it is a must-win for the Bengals. Like, you're 1-4, you have to win this game. It's a must-win. Even Mike Hilton said it. Mike Hilton said it in the locker room. He's like, "Yeah, we've been kind of playing like shit." Agreed. On defense, Joe Burrow's been lights out. Like, Joe Burrow is having to do everything himself, and he has to play perfect. Yeah. And he basically did until the interception. And I mean, that's kind of hard to do in the NFL. It's hard to play perfect, and that's why I think we're kind of underrated what Joe Burrow's been doing this season.
I think he's been fantastic.
It helps when you have a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
It does.
When you're healthy, it helps.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look what it's done for Sam Darnold. So look what it's doing for Caleb Williams, and all the other quarterbacks out there. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun one because the Giants are like have momentum, and it feels like this is like Brian Daboll. It looked like the Giants were dead, and Daniel Jones has been a lot better. And like, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Like, I think Daniel Jones has been playing better, and like, good for him and good for Daboll. Like, they're 2-3. They have a chance to go 3-3, and like, what's left? They got the Bengals. If they beat the Bengals, then they go on to play the Eagles. Depending on how the Eagles look, it's at home in New York. They probably don't beat the Eagles, but they could. I think they can beat the Steelers. Maybe they beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I don't know. Then they have the Commanders. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that they're an 11-win team, but like, they have a chance to make a wild card. Like, they're going to be in the hunt.
They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot in late December.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd get in, but they'll be fighting for a spot. I believe that.
Yeah, if Daniel Jones and that offense scored 38 on the Bengals, the Bengals are done. They're cooked for the season. Like, on to the next one. On to next year, rebuild. You pay Joe Burrow. It's time.
Yep. So, do you want to talk Monday night, or do you want to wait till our recap? Do you want to just go ahead and hop into
Yeah, we could just do that. It's late.
Yeah. You want to just hop into
anything else? Yeah. Anything else on any of the football games?
No, man.
College football, NFL.
Nothing left.
It's been a long ass episode.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired.
I'm sorry, man. I love this weekend of football.
I do too. I think it's been fantastic. I've just been so drained from school and shit and midterms. I'm fucking falling apart.
Where are we at on the dick pics?
Fuck, I haven't even looked. I don't even know. I didn't even look back at week 4.
Speaking of, I also wanted to say for the Saints Bucks, hope everybody's good in Tampa Bay. Hurricane Milton, that was, hope everybody's good.
It's crazy. Did you see Tropicana Field?
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Ripped, yeah.
Last I see,
there's some places that were 12 feet under.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, thinking of those in Florida right now.
Last I see in our picks, we're still tied.
Where are we at?
I haven't totaled up our last session yet, so what I still have is 7 and 7. We're still tied.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll just go to this one. We'll skip the last one since we're busy. All right.
I'll let you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yep.
I am going to take the Lions Cowboys over 52.5.
Damn it. Okay. I was going to take that as well. I think I'm going to surprise you here. I'm going to take the Cards to cover +5 against Green Bay.
Cards to cover?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What's your next one?
I'm going to take the Bears -1.5.
Okay.
I wrote that down before the spread changed to 1.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to take Tampa Bay -3.5.
I had Tampa Bay -3. Okay. Lions Cowboys over 52.5. Bears -1.5. I'm going to take the over in the Packers Cardinals game over 47.5. Has that changed?
No, I see 47.5.
Okay, that's what DraftKings had too.
I'm going to take Washington +6.5.
I like it. I like it.
I also had a little sneaky double pick in there. I also took the over in that game, but if I'm picking one, I'm leaning towards Commanders to cover. So
we'll do a bonus one some other time. We'll make it like We'll surprise them. I'm gonna take the Eagles Browns under 41.5.
Okay, I like it. I'm taking Cincy -4. It's the Giants.
I like it.
What's your last one?
Oof. Man, that Bucks the Bucks -3. That was the one I wanted. Damn it.
That's the first one I saw.
Yeah, good pick, man.
Philly -9.5 is wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna take the just because I think this is a must win and a must figure shit out. I'm gonna take the Titans -2.5.
Okay.
That was a dumb pick. You stumped me with the Bucks -3. I had all mine written down already.
Yeah, I had all mine written down, and you took the fucking over in the Dallas-Detroit game, which I think was a given. But
I'm gonna switch that. I'm not gonna take the Titans -2.5. Can I get one redo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, will you let me? If not, it's okay. I'll stick with it if you want.
You can have it. I'll give it to you.
I could do a redo.
Yep, I took your Tampa, so you can take it. I'll give you one.
I am going to take the shit. This is a tough one. Did you already take? No, you didn't take this one. I think I'm going to take the Ravens -6.5. I'm going to combat you.
So you're taking the Ravens to cover?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm taking the Commanders to cover in that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like it. My last one, I'm taking the under in the Vegas-Pittsburgh game.
Okay, I like it.
36.5. So, yeah, I think that is going to do it. Is there anything else that you want to get into before we head on out for the night?
You want to do a bonus college football one real quick?
We can. What do you want to do?
This one, do you want to combat each other in it, or do you just want to think, gambling, because we like to gamble? Because big picks, we're going against each other. I think this one can be just kind of like a first
just
line.
gambling. Yeah, just a good pick.
Or
what you got?
We could combat each other.
Good. Don't matter to me. Either way.
I like the over in the Red River rivalry.
Yeah,
it's changed. It was 50. It was 50 and a half.
48 and a half now.
Is it 48 and a half? I like the over 48 and a half.
Okay. I like Penn State to cover -4.
I like that one a lot.
I think Penn State wins by double digits.
I totally agree with you.
Also,
in fact, I like that a lot. I might even put it in.
Yeah.
I like one game.
I also.
There's 2.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was going to say, I also like Vandy to cover 12.5 against Kentucky.
Gotcha. I'm going to do a 2-1. I'm going to take LSU +4. Or what's the spread now? Because it's changed.
3.5.
This 3.5. Are you? I'm looking at DraftKings. Are you looking at ESPN?
Yes. Yes. Okay. DraftKings might be different.
I'm going to take LSU +4 and the over 62.5.
Yeah, I like that one. I'd also, I'm just throwing them out here now. I'd lean the under in Ohio State, Oregon.
I got 55 on.
Same with Georgia, Mississippi State. 54.5.
You got 54.5 for Ohio State, Oregon?
No. Well, I think that is 44. That is 54.5. I took the under there. But also Mississippi State, Georgia, 54.5. I might lean.
You like that over? Oh, the under. Okay.
Under, yeah. I think Georgia covers 34 points. I just don't think Mississippi State scores.
This is like the ultimate trap. Are you seeing BYU's only favored by 3? They're -3 against Arizona.
At home.
Isn't that, when you look at that as a bettor, like a gambler, you're kind of looking at it being like, that's such a trap, right?
I feel like someone knows something I don't know in that one.
That reminds me of Baylor. Was it Baylor, like TCU or Baylor, Oklahoma State, when there was a game where Baylor was going up against somebody as an underdog, and it was 1.5. They were underdogs by 1.5, and losing by 1. And it was against like a really good Big 12 team. It was like a couple years ago.
Also, I like Washington money line.
Such a trap.
I like Washington's money line against Iowa. You got anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Don't do it, Sebastian. Don't do it. You know what? I'm going to take Pittsburgh -3.5.
I like it. I think Cal's just had too many close fights. They've been too many rock fights. I think one just kind of falls out of their lap. But you got anything else you want to touch on before we go ahead and get on out of here?
Let me write mine down real quick.
Okay.
For 62.5. LSU +3.5. Over 48.5. RRR. Pitt -3.5. Who else did I fucking pick?
Big BYU?
No, I said that looked like a trap. I had LSU, Ole Miss over 62.5, LSU +3.5, over 48.5 for the Red River game. Pitt -3.5. I could have sworn I had another one. You took Washington to win? Washington money line?
Yeah.
Oof. Oof. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I'll just do those 4.
Okay.
So, all right.
All right. As always, remember, please like, comment, subscribe, share. If you made it this far, you're a true fucking warrior, because I don't know how I even made it this far. I am one tired bastard right now. But this has been Pigskin Podcast, Season 2, Episode 12. And Boomer Sooner, beat Texas, fuck Texas. It's going to be a great fucking weekend. Let's get it.